Good evening, ballers. So I try my best Leon Tompkins impersonation, not very good. But you are listening to the Stepback basketball podcast right here live on Facebook from the Basketball Life Facebook group, the best basketball Facebook group on the planet. And with me, as always, is Jacob Moses. Jacob, how you doing?
I'm doing good, my brother. Thank you for hosting this. Got to fill some big shoes in my brother Leon, but I'm pretty sure you can handle it on episode 67, the Taj Gibson edition.
Oh, yeah. Is he number 67 now?
Yes, on the Knicks. Yes, he was.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, when you're a bum, you have to get those higher numbers, I think. But
well, Luka, Luka 77.
That's okay. He's European, man. That's how the hockey players do it. He's the exception to the rule. You saw Luka. Speaking of Luka, 48 big points, huh? In the Olympics.
He did. He balled out, man. He said it was a lot easier to score in Europe than it was in the U.S. He's talking nonsense. Kawhi was clamping him. He wasn't saying that. He was warning to the refs. Stop.
Hey, man. That's no way to talk about the real MVP of this past season, okay? At least my MVP. No, it's and also we're on the heels of Giannis. Speaking of international basketball, Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks winning the NBA Finals last week. Bucks in 6 as the Chris Paul goes championship-less again. Jacob, I guess before we start the show, will Chris Paul ever win a championship at this point of his career?
Man, it's hard to say because that was his best chance up 2-0. It sucks, but that was his narrative. You get your leads in the playoffs and you can't finish the job, and that might have been his last shot because of the run that Phoenix made. I don't know if they can do that again. I mean, especially all the teams getting hurt, like, Kawhi getting hurt and just so many things happening with injuries and COVID or whatever. It was a perfect time. It was a perfect storm for them to make their little run, and they should have did it, but
yeah, it's a shame because we every time I go on this show, I share my love of Chris Paul, and I'm very always pleasantly surprised how much you and Leon like Chris Paul, and it's a shame that he's gonna be turning into a Charles Barkley, great player, probably one of the best point guards that ever walked this planet, but doesn't have a championship ring. So everything he does is like null and void at this point. Speaking of Leon, good evening, my brother. Thank you for allowing me to host tonight. Appreciate it. And Jacob is off screen now, but we are here talking about the 2017 NBA draft. Felipe, why are you talking about the 2017 NBA draft? It's 2021. Well, it's been 4 years. I'm a firm believer that usually when coaches get hired, general managers get hired, or when a player gets drafted, everybody says, oh, well, you got to give this guy at least 5 years, 6 years to kind of get his feet wet and get his bearing straight and let him acclimate himself. But Jacob, we're finding out that's not the case now, is it? You don't get 5 years at all.
You get about 3 before we start.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, but there's also something Pollyanna about the number 4 in sports. There's 4-year high school, 4-year college. Back in the day, you had to do 4 years in college before you make it to the NBA or even consider being drafted by the NBA. The Olympics are on right now. There's 4 years in between Olympics. So it's really like, and back in my day, you used to have people talking, oh yeah, he has 5-7 years to get this stuff on the road, or for this prospect to turn into something. And even in baseball nowadays, if you don't do anything within like the 3 or 4 years, you're gone. Or they're already, and you as a Knicks fans, you would know they're already talking about plan C, D, and E for the next rebuild, because after 2 years, this ain't working.
Exactly. That's what happens, man. And as we will get into it when we get to number 8, you're gonna really hear my pain in that one, because I had some reservations before this draft and didn't get who I wanted. So
by the way, you said LT on the chat there, as we are, like I said, we are live on Facebook, and I thought you were talking about Lawrence Taylor. Where is he?
No crossover tonight.
No crossover tonight. Hey, unless we're talking to Allen Iverson, but we're not. So let me paint a picture for you, Jacob Moses. The year is 2017. The Golden State Warriors are just won the NBA championship with Kevin Durant leading the way. Warriors in 5. Durant led all Warriors in scoring for all 5 games, and this is after he first signed on to the Warriors after getting courted by many, many teams. The Celtics were involved, the Spurs, the Thunder. I forgot what the other team was, but definitely the Warriors were a part of it. I don't know how you remember it, Jacob, but I remember the Warriors didn't were kind of like an afterthought because they had so many good players. Did they have enough cap space to sign a Kevin Durant? Is that how you remember it over there, or no?
Absolutely. I thought he was gonna. I knew he was gonna leave OKC. I knew that was coming. It was just where he was gonna go, and if you were to say that he was going, you knew he was going to the Warriors, it was a damn lie. Unless your name was Woj, you didn't know what the hell was going on. But it was weird because I think, was that the year they won the 72 or they 73 games right after that, something like
Yeah,
that?
they so what happened was they lost to the Cavaliers and they
Yep.
blew a 3-1 lead after they
There
had
you
won
go.
73 regular season games.
And, as MJ says, it ain't worth the thing. You ain't got that ring.
I believe that was Duke Ellington who said that, but whatever. Duke,
No, it might have been.
I honestly don't know.
Nice.
Actually, I think his is it ain't a thing if it ain't got that
that swing.
swing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was struggling there.
there you go.
Yeah,
No,
Leon mentioning that the Spurs. Yeah, I honestly thought he was going to go to the Spurs just because Popovich, and I remember. But then I remember on the first day of free agency they were talking about, oh yeah, it's a sure thing that he's going to stay in Oklahoma City. There was an actual reporter outside the Oklahoma, what do they call it? The XL Energy Arena? Yeah, Oklahoma. Yeah,
the Chesapeake Arena, whatever the hell, Chesapeake, whatever you want to call it, something
know,
like that.
Chesapeake sounds good about right about now, but but yeah, he's out there in front of the arena saying, "Oh yeah, he's coming back to the Thunder." They said, and the Celtics were heavily involved, and I can't remember who the other team was, but Warriors recruited heavy. I mean, there's a reason why they were begging for him, and only 3 years later that they say we don't even need you anymore. 3 years after the fact, we don't even need you.
That was Draymond. That was Draymond saying that.
What a
we
bitch.
won without you. Well, I mean that fight was crazy.
Why would you say you're the one who recruited him? Heavy, begging desperately.
He didn't give a damn.
Anyway. It was a very dominating season for the Warriors. They got off to a 15-0 playoff start and finished the playoffs at 16-1. That ended up being the best winning percentage in NBA playoff history.
Yep, since the Lakers, I believe, in 02.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I want to say because the Lakers had a run on that one where they were just ridiculously good. My memory is that good. I would say Jesus. I was like a sophomore in high school to remember that.
Oh, wow.
That means my memory is not going.
Well, that's why I write down a bunch of notes. And here's another one for you. The Cavaliers, as far as the Cavaliers are concerned, they just made their LeBron James actually did. Sorry. LeBron James made his 7th consecutive NBA Finals appearance. And unfortunately, this was going to be Kyrie's last season because about a month after the draft, Kyrie demands a trade that he wants out of Cleveland. And where does he go? We talked about it last week on the 2011 NBA draft recap. And I was telling you off the screen here, the dots are there. We just have to connect them.
Yep.
Like we mentioned in the 2011 NBA draft review, Kyrie Irving would end up going to the Boston Celtics and get traded for Jay Crowder, Ante Zizic. You remember 2011 was the year Kyrie Irving was selected number 1 overall. He gets traded for the other player, number 60th pick overall, Isaiah Thomas of the 2011 NBA draft. Ain't that something?
Man, it just, when you said that though, it did, the light bulb went off. I'm like, man, he is definitely right. It was so many ways that this draft in 11 and 17 were connected, and it's crazy, man.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And maybe someone does have a 6-year plan, but it ain't these individuals or these teams, but it's the league itself, the ecosystem of the NBA. It just has a way to fix itself. So that's pretty cool. Also, in the college basketball world, UNC defeats Gonzaga 71-65 to win the NCAA tournament. What's wrong over there? Why are you shaking your head?
Huh? Yeah, that was real fun. 2017, actually, I think that was the last time we went to Florida, and I actually came back with UNC winning the title, so that kind of pissed me off. So yeah, I had to be there with Leon and a whole bunch of other UNC fans. Leon, if you listen and remind me, I think 17 was the last year we went. I could be wrong.
Well,
we took our yearly trips there, and fuck UNC anyway.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't. I don't think you made your declaration, but you are a Duke fan still, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Hey,
horses. Hey, horses, man. 3 players from this, from both teams, the UNC Tar Heels and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Is that who they are? The Bulldogs. That's what they need. And like 26 different Bulldogs in college basketball. But they end up sending 3 players in the first round of the 2017 NBA draft, and that's where we go to the 2017 NBA draft. We must venture on, and we talked about the Celtics, right? We talked about the Celtics. And they were.
Can I do it? I gotta do it right quick. It ran in my head. Remember Wayne's World when they went back in time?
Oh, thank you.
All right, now we're back in time. Go ahead.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's a really cool sound effect. And we are a show on a budget. We don't have the budget for those fancy schmancy toys to make those noises. But Jacob is like the Michael Winslow of brothers out here, I guess. Don't spit out your water now. Okay, so the Celtics are before Kyrie. This is before Kyrie. Before this, because remember, this happened in the Kyrie trade happened in August. The 2017 NBA draft happened in June 22nd. So 2 months before Kyrie gets shipped off to Boston. Shipping off to Boston. Whoa. The Departed over there. There were the Celtics wanted to get away from the number 1 pick. They had the number 1 pick overall. And they weren't sure about this Markelle Fultz guy. They weren't too enamored with him. But Danny Ainge was all about getting those draft picks and those assets. For what? Nobody knows to this day. But damn it, he was going to get them. Danny Ainge. And now, what? 4 years later, graduation day, right, Jacob? Graduation day. He gone now. His time was up.
He gone.
His time was here. His time was up. That's what happened to him. Now, how did the Celtics? I wish Leon was here, but how did the Celtics get this number 1 pick overall?
They traded obviously with Philly for. Oh my God, it's going to drive me crazy.
Well, before that, it looks like the Celtics had this number 1 pick overall because of Brooklyn.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Brooklyn. As usual, they tied in a lot of these drafts because they gave up so much. This turned into Tatum. It was another one that turned into Lillard. It was pretty funny in my eyes.
Oh, it's hilarious, and not just that, but we just talked about the very genesis of during the 2011 NBA draft recap. We talked about the very genesis of that Russian oligarch. I forget his name. I was it Prokhorov or something like that. I always forget his name.
Mikhail Prokhorov.
Ah, yes. This wanting. Leon's like, I wasn't refreshing that, he says, about now that we're talking about the Brooklyn Nets, his team. But no, there was we saw the genesis of it back in the 2011 NBA draft with him trying to win now and get all these big name free agents and these big name players via trades and sacrificing draft picks. Well, what would you say? So 6 years later, 6 drafts later, this whole transaction thing is just littered with Brooklyn Nets trading draft picks all over the place. So,
yeah, I definitely got it. Here we go. Philadelphia. Remember, they had the number 1 pick year before.
The Ben Simmons draft, I mean?
There you go.
Wow.
So they traded for the second straight year. So they pretty much, their core right there. Let's see. Boston gets the 3rd pick from Philly, plus either a first round in 2018 and 19 if the Los Angeles Lakers hold a pick in between 2nd and 5th next season. Boston gets that one. If not, Philadelphia will send Boston either its own first rounder in 2019 or Sacramento's first rounder that year.
Golly, what the hell, man?
Yes.
Why trade for draft picks if they're going to be so conditional?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what the Celtics do, and that's what they've done, and that's what they did. Mm-hmm. The only thing that they didn't do, the Celtics, was sign a big name free agent to complement their young roster, but we'll get to that in a bit. In the meantime, the 76ers do indeed trade up to get the number 1 pick, and they get Markelle Fultz. And do I need to share my screen, or do you just want to talk about it?
Oh, we can talk about it. I got my notes. If you want to share your screen, we can do that, but I definitely got my notes because this was a draft I was pretty invested in. So it was kind of, it was
you know what? I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, your screen, man. You did all that work.
I did all that work. You're right. All right.
In the Philly colors as the first one. I like that.
You caught that. Nice.
I like that.
Thank you for noticing.
That was dope.
Thank you so much for noticing. I didn't think you guys would notice, but good eye there by you, Jacob. Thank you so much. But yeah, that's why I did it, because of the Philly colors. It was their first pick, and they spent it on Markelle Fultz, 6'4" point guard out of Washington, the Huskies. The consensus number one pick, according to the USA Today, CBS Sports mock draft, and a Bleacher Report mock draft. The USA Today was written by Adi Joseph, and that was written back in May. So like I mentioned in the 2011 NBA draft recap, I like to at least have one mock draft from May, and then the other ones be done in June, which, as you can see, these were done the day of the draft. The CBS one, as well as the Bleacher Report one. So what's there to like about Markelle Fultz? He looks the part of the NBA point guard, although they did question his motor, but that could be because he was just kind of lapping that season to get ready for the NBA draft. And also that little bit of we don't know if it's an internal problem with Markelle Fultz or if it was a result of playing for a bad college team. And you mentioned Ben Simmons, who the same thing was asked about him. Where's his motor? Where's his desire to win? Where's his TWTW, right? As Hawk Harrelson would say. I mean, what do you make of it, Jacob? Was it just him preserving himself for this NBA draft, or was there something internal, or was it the team was so bad?
Well, the team, it was just him on that team. I guarantee you can't remember, like if you say, "Hey, who played on the Huskies when Markelle Fultz was the start?" I guarantee you would, unless you Googled it, you wouldn't know. Well, he had a lot of. You didn't really see his jumper. You know, he got to the rim a lot, so also you didn't really see what he can do on that. And did he have a mid range? You know, could he break down defenses? And that's what they were going up. Like, hey, he was the best player in the country at the time, I guess, how they felt. And, you know, he had a high ceiling, and that was pretty much it, because you didn't really know. You heard about him being this great, I don't want to say generational player, but the next big thing in the NBA. And I guess Philly, they saw, hey, we got Embiid, now we got Simmons, you know, to play that small forward. You got your center. What do you need? You need that. You need that guy. You need that point. You need your number one. And Fultz, he played the part. He had the size. You know, he got physical. He got into it when he was on the floor, and he looked the part. And his game seemed like it was there, but it all came down to his broken jumper.
Yeah, and again, the question, is this an internal problem? I mean, that would prove to be haunting. I mean, that's what I love about these mock drafts, is that as corny as some of them are, they're actually jam-packed full of information, you know, a very micro scouting report of sort, easy to digest, so you're not overwhelmed by all the information. And then it just stuck out, internal problem, man, because this guy would go on to have internal problems. You just mentioned the jump shot. Like, bad enough you got Ben Simmons on the team, but now you got Markelle Fultz to deal with. What is going on in Philly, man? Trust the process? I don't think so.
Absolutely, man. It was just Philly. And like Leon attributed to, he said that for all the tanking they did, and they were tanking because, good Lord, they sucked. I thought the Nets were bad. Philly might have been even worse. But all the tanking they did, they struck out on a lot of picks, man. They had some bums. I'll say it. I hate to do it to my boy. I believe they drafted Jahlil Okafor, and he didn't pan out there.
I can't remember. Did he go to Duke?
Yes, he did.
I couldn't remember.
He was the man. And listen, he was the man to do. He was.
No, I mean, it's just
typical back to basket guy.
Yep,
can get you buckets, and he's bouncing around the league.
It's pretty sad because they purposely tanked to get Jahlil Okafor and all these other guys, but mainly Jahlil Okafor was the can't miss prospect, and then he gets drafted, and it's like, sorry, dude, but the NBA is changing very drastically and rapidly, and your game is obsolete. Delete. But no, man, this is I mean, it's been 4 years since this draft was made, and then you mentioned Embiid and Simmons being picked. Overall, what is your take on this trust the process era of the Philadelphia 76ers? Is it a success or a failure in your eyes?
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah,
because you know, the team was gonna go as Embiid went. Because he was one of the most, if not the most skilled big man in that draft. And he had everything. He was the back-to-back, like the classic back-to-basket center. He had a little jump shot. Defensively, he can hold the fort down in the paint, and it was nice. And then you got Ben Simmons, this guy from, all right, don't tell me, don't, come on, get it, LSU, that,
Yep.
you know, defensive stalwart. You knew that in college. He can block you down. Very athletic. He can get after it. Jump shot, questionable, still questionable, but he seemed like a star in the making. And that gives you two guys that you put with Markelle Fultz was going to be running the East for a while.
Yep.
But obviously, with all the injuries and Markelle Fultz not working out, you can't say it's not a failure. They almost went to the finals, but Ben Simmons didn't want to take a layup, so and his free throw shooting pretty much done him in. But he might be the next one to go. But
because now they can't find him, right? They can't find him. As a report I just saw that they can't get a hold of the guy. I hope he's okay, but obviously that's has a little bit of Aaron Rodgers vibe to it.
But that it could be mental, man, and mental stability is not. Mental health is not something to joke with. That you have no clue, because I'm pretty sure he reads everything that's being said about him, especially at that last game where he passed the ball. He could have easily laid it up and dunked it. He's 6'8". Hey, Charles Smith dunked the ball, but hey, I just hope he can get it, because he's young. Dude is a star. I mean, he might need a change in scenery. We'll see. But I wish nothing but the best for him.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Markelle Fultz, it did get mental with him with the funky shot, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But we'll get to it. But here's the comps according to NBADraft.net. My go-to website, your favorite website of all time, apparently, as we learned last week. But James Harden or D'Angelo Russell, that look right to you? The comps?
No, hell no. Hell no.
What?
Hell no. He
Why?
wasn't as James Harden was actually smooth in college. He was smooth at Arizona State. The dude was really good. D'Angelo Russell was the same one. He had a jumper. They showed off that they can shoot the ball. And James Harden could get to the rim. Markelle Fultz is pretty much just get to the rim and score. No jumper. Defense, just spotty. I won't say he was horrible. Definitely spotty. But James Harden can actually play defense. I mean, he got a little... James Harden, is he a defensive guy? He has quick hands. He showed it a few times in those Houston series.
Yeah.
And D'Angelo Russell, smooth on the offensive end, good leader on the floor, passer.
Can't be trusted off the court, though.
Yeah, snitch. We all know. You see him coming with a camera in the locker room, please start ducking. You're going to get snitched on.
And I think with James, I was going to say with James Harden, I think people are just, they're so gravitated towards the blooper reels, that's all they see. As far as Markelle Fultz, and we bring back the VORP, value over replacement player, and I have to go a little bit more to the right so people can see what VORP means. It's a very complicated formula, and of course, it's the comment that I was hoping to read is not extended all the way through, just like last week. Jerks, stupid Excel. But basically, they take it's a box score estimate of the points per 100 per team possessions that a player contributed above a replacement player being negative 2.0. So even though Markelle Fultz is at negative 0.2, he's not quite a replacement player just yet. And this is translated to an average team and prorated to an 82-game season. So basically, the higher the number, the better, obviously. But you just want to avoid that negative 2.0, because that's when you can hear Beyonce singing. Don't ever for a minute get to thinking that you're irreplaceable, because that number will tell you that you are. When the pick was made, who did the grades? Bleacher Report, Adam Fromal, back in June of 2017. Fromal, thank you. A+, Philly trusted the process for a long time. Now it's ready to see some results. Ha ha! I don't think so. Results pending. I more like it. He flopped in Philly, but is flourishing in Orlando before the knee injury ended his 2021 season. Unfortunately, he was on my fantasy team, as you may or may not know, Jacob, and it was a pain in the ass to look for a replacement all year long. As guards, surprisingly, are not a dime a dozen as I thought they would be in our league, in our funky league. While in Philly, he forgot how to shoot the ball and lost confidence. Controversy surrounded him with him, who was in terms of who was training him outside of the 76ers staff. There was issues with his mom getting involved with the rifts with the organization, so that didn't help matters. overall, I say don't trust the process. But A+ from Bleacher Report on that grade. Would you have given this pick an A+, or would you have done it graded
Oh yeah,
differently?
I mean, absolutely. At the time, that was a need. A lot of teams don't go for need; they go with BPA.
Yeah.
And
Best player available. Yeah.
yep, there you go. And at the time, he was the BPA, and it was a need. So you basically hit on both, or so they thought. So yeah, I would definitely give it an A. I mean, you had Jason Tatum there, but you got Ben Simmons, so you think we don't need him.
Well, whatever the case, the 76ers did not take advantage of their fortune.
Mm-hmm.
And we move on to another Pac-12 point guard in LeVar Ball. Sorry, Lonzo Ball. Lonzo. I know
Ooh,
that
how dare you?
Sorry, they're a package deal. I couldn't. At that time they were. But now they're not. But
Yes.
at that time they
Mm-hmm.
LeVar had a little bit of Fritz von Erich creepiness to him. I'll admit it. Lonzo, unlike Markelle Fultz went to Washington. Lonzo went to UCLA. You know what would have been interesting was to see how these two players matched up against each other in college. Yes. Unfortunately, I don't have the patience to watch college basketball because I just
what
I don't. Well, first of all, I went to a college that didn't have a basketball team, and I was always an NBA guy. I mean, I love.
That's absolutely sorry.
Yeah, we'll get to this. We'll discuss that some other time.
I have to say with Leon, he said Eric Bledsoe. That's a better. I would say that is definitely a better comparison because Bledsoe had a spotty jumper, but Fultz? He was stocky but he can get to the rack. That was his game. He gets to the
good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually one. So Leon,
it's a really good one. Yeah, the combo guard of sorts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gets traded multiple times. No, I don't think Fultz got traded, but regardless, okay.
Yeah, he got traded a good amount of times.
Not wanted by his team that drafted him, basically the Clippers, right?
Pretty much.
But now we got to talk about Lonzo Ball, and this is going to be a theme throughout the thing, throughout this show. Freshman. Lonzo Ball was also a freshman coming into it. The consensus number 2 pick by all the mock drafts. Can you imagine with the Lakers Ball and D'Angelo Russell in the backcourt is very intriguing. Limitless shooting range. I don't know all about that, but
in college, yeah, he used to pull up. He used to, and I had to hear Luke Walton was the Conference of Champions. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, he used to pull. He used to pull from deep and hit him. And
well, speaking of Bill Walton, though, speaking of the Conference of Champions, LeVar is a major problem for Lonzo. I've never met someone so loquaciously inept, just talking and garrulous for the sake of being garrulous. I tell you what, Brett, that guy's gonna kill his own sons, just like Fritz von Erich did in Dallas. Can he play for the hometown team? The answer was no, he cannot. That's what we found out the hard way, didn't we, Jacob?
I mean, he wasn't bad, but it just the pressure probably got to him. You saw, LeBron. Yeah. They were just like, "Oh, LeBron, you coming? Who you getting rid of? Who we traded?
Lonzo,
get that ball kid out of here. We don't mess with that." But yeah, it wasn't in the cards. D'Angelo Russell too. You know those guys, not in the cards. But he's flourishing. But it's not like he didn't show what got him drafted so high. His court vision.
Yeah.
The defense. Vastly improving. 3-point shot was very spotty. It wasn't falling like it was at UCLA. Let's be honest.
Yep.
But it just sometimes it doesn't work. The I'm coming home stuff, it definitely doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah, ask Derrick Rose about that. But for Lonzo, the other thing about Lonzo was that Magic Johnson was supposed to be a mentor. I don't know about that. I don't believe in that stuff. I have to actually see it to believe it. I just don't see Magic Johnson being the busy guy that he is and the bigger than life person that he is. I don't see that, but maybe there's footage somewhere out there that I'm not seeing where Magic Johnson is actually helping him. Did you see any of that? Magic Johnson helping Lonzo Ball?
I would think so. I mean, that's when he was right? But plus when you look at it, Luke Walton's up-tempo offense that he was running at the time, you think, hey, this might be the guy. This might actually work. He's going to be a difference maker in LA. And hey, they had Julius Randle too, so
I mean, that team was loaded. That Lakers team was loaded, and
very young and loaded, man. It could have been something to watch if they stuck together and actually grew as players. But
I mean, you're seeing Brandon Ingram up on the board there. Alonzo's supposed to be helping him develop. Technically, they were right about that. Wrong team, though.
Wrong team. Yep.
If the Lakers get Paul George, watch out now.
I remember that. Remember that whole PG might be coming home. He came home, all right, just not to LA, not to that Staples Center.
Yeah, and
but Clippers version.
The Lakers would end up getting a different kind of free agent, if you know what I mean. But we already alluded to that earlier. Actually, we did mention it already. The comps, and I tell you what, man, Lonzo Ball, I was all on board on the Jason. He's the next Jason Kidd. As much as I hate his dad, and as much as I don't like his shot, I do like me a pass-first point guard of this caliber. Ricky Rubio, I was also a big fan of, and he went to the Timberwolves. So there is some hope for Lonzo Ball. Unfortunately, it seems like he's been relegated too far deep below the options in terms of NBA teams. But he does have a VORP of 4.8, which is respectable. As you'll see on the bottom of the right there, 9.8 with Jason Tatum. I believe that's the highest VORP of this class. So Lonzo holding his own. He's halfway there. He's a halfway player compared to Jason Tatum. It's about right. So even though he's the number 2 pick overall, he's not as good as the number 3 pick overall ended up being. The grade was an A, and here's the quote that I handpicked for this one. But as much as we'd love to focus on LeVar's inevitable first-take appearances, and boy, were there a lot of first-take appearances, this is about Lonzo Ball, who can turn the Lakers around, which he technically did.
He did.
Via trade.
With trade.
I'm telling you, you got to love these, man. These forsoothing analysts out here. He's gonna help develop Brandon Ingram's game in New Orleans. If I'm Brandon Ingram, if that's the case, I'm sending him a Christmas gift card every single year because he got paid. Brandon Ingram did.
Yes, he did.
And now Lonzo is a restricted free agent trying to figure out where he's gonna play, or if the Pelicans even won. Where? What?
New York.
The Knicks.
The Knicks. Ball and Randall back together again. Come on.
Reunited. And just what LeVar needs. He needs a bigger market. It's better enough. Hey, sweetie.
Say hi.
Hey.
All right, you can go to bed now.
Jacob's daughter there.
Yeah. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Aw. I want to stop the show and I want to see my baby too. No, I'm just joking. I saw her all day today, and she's and for those who can hear, she's been a screaming wreck all evening long since I got home. So I do apologize for the screaming baby noises as always. But he has getting back to Lonzo Ball, he has lived up to expectations as a passer, has improved his shooting. He's wisely cut ties with the big baller brand, which is one of the things I hated about him when he got drafted. So I'm glad that he kind of separated his financials from his family. At least that's how I am taking it. Unless Jacob tells me otherwise, that there's still, some sort of connection there, but there was some sort of scheme that was going on with one of the big baller brand partners, stealing Lonzo's money away and stealing all types of financials, and just a big mess to be a part of. And
definitely.
Like I told people, this kind of reminds me of Bernie Kosar having to describe his relationship with his own father. And remember, and broke how he just started going into sweats and he just kept getting wetter and wetter as the documentary went on. It was pretty sad to see, and I'm glad that Lonzo was able to avoid that. The Lakers were blaming the big baller brand shoes for causing the nagging ankle injuries.
I remember that.
Aside from that, what's your final take on Lonzo Ball being drafted here number 2 overall in this 2017?
It was a great pick, man. Yeah, you saw it coming, sells tickets. I mean, great passer, next Jason Kidd. I mean, triple double threat every night. Like you said, it just wasn't in LA. He showed flashes, so it's not like New Orleans got a bum. But yeah, they hit it right on the nail. Just bam, they nailed it.
Well, speaking of hitting it on the nail, Jason Tatum, I tell you what, man.
That kid.
Boy, oh boy. And I hate Duke. I told you I hate Duke. I don't have a college. Well, yeah, I was going to say, I don't have a college basketball team, but I definitely hate certain teams, and Duke is one of them.
Everybody hates Duke.
And I hate their players, and I hate their coach, and I hate their fans, and I hate you.
I hate you too, man. I mean, that's just the Bulls Nick thing. I don't think.
Apparently, that was a Duke thing. I can hate you now. Is this what you want?
That's right. Huh?
Where are we going now? I don't know. He's Puff Daddy. Just yelling things. You want to hate me, so blow me. Okay, so Duke. I tell you what, man. Along with Zion Williamson, Jason Tatum was actually one of my favorite players to come out of Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I just love this game so much coming out, and I thought, man, this guy's going to be something special. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how special he could be. I don't know if he's Lonzo Ball special, but
Not better. Way better. I knew he was going to be better. It wasn't going to be close. It's just his scoring paralysis, 3, 4, 5 level score, whatever you want to call it. He can do whatever he want on the floor. He can break you down off the dribble. Big shot taker, big shot maker. He did it at Duke. I knew he was going to come into the league and do it. And the Celtics got to go to him, man. The Celtics, and for them to just, we're going to trade back to still get the player they probably coveted, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah, upside to be the number 2 pick. Fortunately for the Celtics, the Lakers had wanted some of that home cooking as well. With the UCLA Lonzo Ball point guard, most polished, most natural scorer in the class, can play both forward positions, mature beyond his years. He can make an immediate impact, and boy, did he ever! He was ready to. I mean, he was born to play in the NBA. There was a discrepancy here with USA Today making him on the number 5 pick overall, but that was done in May. CBS and Bleacher Report had him at the number 3, rightfully so, slot. Allen Houston and Danny Granger. I could see Danny Granger. I don't know about. I'm not 100% sure about Allen Houston.
Houston, because his jumper was something. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
he wasn't. It was just a nice jumper. Danny Granger. Yeah, I can see it. They're both really skilled players, so yeah, I can see it. But I like the Houston one.
Yeah, I like the Danny Granger one better because of the height.
Athleticism too.
Right. And Allen Houston, screw him. He's a Knicks player. No, but I don't know. When I think about Allen Houston, I think about sharpshooter. I didn't see that with Jason Tatum, although now I've been proven wrong time and time again on that. But 9.8 VORP, I believe that's the highest VORP of his class right now. But the Celtics got a B according to Bleacher Report. Why?
Which is crazy.
Here's the quote: Tatum will need plenty of touches in a system that filters so many towards Isaiah Thomas and Al Horford.
Roll it back.
Roll it back to the 2011 NBA draft. The dots are there. We're just here to connect them. Wait a couple of months, gang. Wait a couple of months, and that issue will be solved, right? Is he the best player of this draft for you, Jacob?
Honestly, I would say yeah. I definitely got to give it to him, man.
Hard to argue, right?
It's hard to argue, even though it was a lot of stars in this that came out of this draft. Great players. I mean, as we will go over, but I'm saying it right now. Jason Tatum is the best player in this draft.
I think that's a safe assumption to make. All right. He's recently signed a 5-year, $163 million extension, and graduation day. What a graduation present for him, right? But you will see that there. I mean, we saw with Lonzo Ball. I guess I didn't put it down, but he is. He is a restricted free agent coming into this offseason. Jason Tatum does not have to worry about that this offseason. So
he got the bag.
Got the money bags. And I forgot to mention that Markelle Fultz also signed an extension, not as lucrative as Jason Tatum, but he too will not have to worry about where he's playing next year.
He'll be okay, though. Less pressure in Orlando. He can build his own, thing there with him and
he was doing good. He was doing really good.
He was. He was really, as you know, you had him on your team, and I was happy for him, man. It was really cool to see his jumper start coming around. He was basically a player that you thought you would get, and hopefully he continues that and stays healthy and keeps his mind right.
Well, we move to speaking of the Phoenix Suns, we just talked about them to start the show off. Josh Jackson at the number 4 spot here, 6'8", 205 forward out of Kansas, another freshman. Got drafted right around where the mock drafts had him. Ace defender, underrated passer, great athletic two-way player, energy player. He needs to work on his shot. How's that shot looking right now, Jacob?
Trash. It ain't nothing changed. No, but he became a little bit better three-point shooter, but it's not as good as you thought.
Yeah.
But the defender is right on there. Great, underrated passer. Athletics still got it, but energy. He definitely shown if he had his mind right and actually put everything into it, he could be that good because he had a stretch, I want to say, with Detroit where he looked really good. But I think he got traded again after that. But.
Yeah, he gets traded a lot, and I keep splashing my drink on my face for some reason. The comps were Kawhi Leonard and Jimmy Butler.
Hell no.
No.
Besides the defense.
Yeah, I was going to say. No, that's not looking too good for NBA Draft.net on that prediction, but it's whatever. Here's the problem. He's a negative 2.7 VORP player. That means he is replaceable as a top 4 pick. That's a problem. That's not how you build teams now, is it, Jacob?
No, not at all.
But
Always got to be a positive player. Positive like magic.
But Bleacher Report loved this pick, loved it better than the Jason Tatum pick. And here's the quote that I selected. Having a scorer like Devin Booker distracting a defense should pay major dividends for his long-term development, Josh Jackson's long-term development. Well, it turns out that it's a lot longer than we expected for that development, didn't we?
Damn right.
And you mentioned he's with the Pistons. That's his 3rd team since being drafted, currently on a 2-year deal. But he will be an unrestricted free agent in 2022. So he's actually prolonging that. Do you still have faith in Josh Jackson to turn his career around, Jacob?
Definitely. 4 years, it's some amount of time, but you can actually turn it around to be, I won't say a star in the league, but he'll be a useful player for over 10 years.
Just wanted to point out that Leon says that Markelle Fultz and Cole Anthony, that's a nice budding backcourt.
Yes,
I would know because Cole Anthony was also on my fantasy team.
Yeah, Cole Anthony was my guy, even though he went to UNC, but he went to school in Queens, so I kind of always got to respect that and support it.
He represents Queens, but everybody else was based in Brooklyn, doing it well. Speaking of I remember back in the day, people were saying that De'Aaron Fox might actually be the best prospect, better than Lonzo Ball, maybe even better than Markelle Fultz. That's pretty close to it, isn't it, Jacob?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't. The Kentucky point guard factory. We will say this. Matter of fact, the Kentucky player factory.
Yeah.
They just know how to scout them, pick them up, get them paid. This is another player that is going to get. If he just got paid in my Johnny Kim voice, I believe he did. But dude is fast. He's another one that had to work on his jump shot, but you lightning quick, you can get to the rim. And every year since this draft, he has improved everything.
Yep.
And
true that. And to your point about Kentucky, I think that's my idea of what college basketball is all about. Get in, do your time, develop, get paid. That's all that matters.
That's it.
That's what it should be. Not this prestige and pomp and circumstance, although ironically, this is the graduation show for the NBA draft. That's it. The Randy Savage music, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Freakish athlete. This is a quote from Fox. I feel like I'm the best point guard in the draft. Jacob, is he the best point guard of this draft?
I remember him saying that, and I would say point guard. No, hell no.
Really? Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball?
No. I will give the edge to, well, depends. If you're doing a well-rounded, he has a point now. When I think, matter of fact, he does have a point. Definitely has a point. Except for Donovan Mitchell, though, but he's more
of a shooting guard, off guard.
Yeah, he's more of a shooting guard, off guard. But point guard wise, I would say Lonzo's the best pure point guard. But De'Aaron Fox, if he keeps it up, he can't be the best point guard in this draft.
Okay, so hold off on that prediction. I think he is at this point. And it's just the athleticism, the speed, the intelligence. I mean, if you're going to say that Lonzo Ball is an intelligent player, but so is De'Aaron Fox, though. Two-way point guard, relentless defender. He needs to improve his jumper, but so does Lonzo Ball. So it's not like – and then Markelle Fultz, he had no jump shot for a long time. So I love these comps, though. John Wall and Dennis Schroeder. I think these were knocked out of the ballpark. Only a 4.5 VORP. I said only, but is that – let me double-check something. Where's Lonzo? Oh, wow. So Lonzo is better than De'Aaron Fox, according to VORP. I don't think that he is, but
I'm not, a whole stat. I'm a stats guy for the most part, but when you talk about, VORP and all that, I'm not a big fan. But hey, I was right.
I'm a fan now, damn it.
It proved it. Analytics.
Yeah, it's a very convoluted formula. I still don't matter. I just kind of like it because it's a nice little baseline to look at things. But yeah, I don't know if I agree with that at all. But there must have been something that happened. I don't know if Fox missed some time, but I think Lonzo also missed some time anyway.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's right. The big baller shoes is what messed up Lonzo Ball. A minus. I'm sorry, what?
No, he has the Stephen Curry syndrome.
Ooh.
Ankle problem as soon as he came in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned that to one of my friends. I think it was Matt Bushnell. I mentioned that. Yeah, as much as we love to glorify Steph Curry, there was a time in his career where we weren't even sure about him, and he mocked me like, "How could you doubt Steph Curry at any point?" And then you're like, hey, remember this guy had ankle problems, and it wasn't until
Mm-hmm.
the Warriors revolutionized the way they do medical treatments over there. They realized, hey, work on your core. Don't be fat. I don't mean to insult fat people. I'm sorry, but anyway, A minus for De'Aaron Fox, according to Bleacher Report. While Fox's lack of spacing ability is less than ideal, it's a situation Sacramento should be more than willing to live with. Well, they are for the next 5 years, $163 million, and that's all I have for him. So we like De'Aaron Fox at this point. So let's move on to Jonathan Isaac really quick with the Orlando Magic. Out of Florida State, so he got to. Speaking of home cooking, he got to stay in his home state. And yet another freshman. Looks like the what do you call it? The mock drafts had him going number 7. The Magic said, "Ha, not so fast. We're gonna take him before anybody else." But here's what they said about the T-Wolves getting Jonathan Isaac in these mock drafts. He has high defensive potential, great fit with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins.
I don't know if that would work.
Well, it ain't gonna work anytime soon because Wiggins is no longer with the team. But
yeah, that's it. It wasn't gonna work. I can just say that now. And I just have to say, let's run back to De'Aaron Fox a little bit.
Sure.
Have to get my notes in there. Actually,
when
we talk about Indy, no, it's all good. And what he needed to improve it. I mean, I believe his 2-point jumper is at 47%, almost 50, and hey, that's what you want. And he's averaging 25 now, highest in his career.
Yeah, I mean. It's been marvelous to see him develop. I mean, from being the number 3 point guard, and this draft is full of point guards, by the way. From being the number 3 point guard to probably being the best point guard, we'll see. I mean, I know Vorp doesn't like him as much as Lonzo Ball, but at any rate, going back to Jonathan Isaac, do you agree with CBS at the time saying that he has the highest ceiling of this draft, Jonathan Isaac?
No.
Who would you put down as the highest ceiling?
Highest ceiling, I would have either said Tatum or Mitchell.
Oh, wow.
Tatum or Mitchell, because I was very high on Mitchell, because obviously ACC Duke fan, I saw a good amount of them.
Yeah.
And I really liked him. But, yeah, Isaac, he was good. I mean, 3-and-D, he had the 3-and-D. Like we talked about 2011. What did I say back then? You'll hear that a lot, 3-and-D, 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 because that's what teams want. And Jonathan Isaac was another one, 3-and-D guy that can stretch the floor. And as you put, I don't know about Rashard Lewis. Rashard Lewis was straight gunner. Kevin Durant, you setting that kid up for failure doing that.
Well, I mean, that's the highest ceiling thing again. Well, if the highest ceiling, he could be Kevin Durant, but
I mean,
I don't know about that. I mean, he could shoot and pass. Great block, just like Kevin Durant, great blocker. So maybe that's where they got it from.
The length, yeah.
But he's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I'll give him that because he was pretty good when healthy.
Yeah,
he was pretty good. It sucked that we couldn't see what he could have done in the bubble, but he was actually doing really well, and he showed good improvements in his game. And then he tore his ACL.
Yeah, and for his misfortunes, he's still a positive player according to value over replacement player. So all is not lost with him. The Magic got a B+ from Bleacher Report, and here's the quote that I stole: "He has a shot to improve, but can he do so with the Magic? It is up for debate." Well, the Magic tend to think that this is the guy. They signed him to a 4-year, $69 million extension. Currently recovering from ACL injury. Final take on Jonathan Isaac before we go to number 7.
Still. He can be, high ceiling. I don't know how good he's going to be. Let's see him come off his ACL injury, and let's see how he fits in that offense with Cole, Markelle, and, Mo Bamba. Can't forget about him. But he can fit in nicely. He got that 4. He should have that 4 spot locked down, and I think he'll be okay. I think he'll get it up to be a 20-point scorer. A block a game, maybe 3 or 4 assists. He can do it.
So let me ask you, if you didn't like Rashard Lewis and Kevin Durant, I mean, who would you have picked? I mean, this is a guy who's 6'10" and could shoot.
I know. He could shoot in school a little bit. I mean, more Rashard Lewis, I can say. I can't think of it right now.
Okay.
I would say if I had to pick one out of 2, I'm going to say Rashard Lewis.
Okay. What about Vladimir Radmanovic? Do you like that comp?
I remember him.
I'm joking.
I remember him. Good Lord, man. That Seattle team could shoot, though. Him, Ray,
yeah.
Rashard.
Yeah. Kevin Durant, also from Seattle. It's just a Seattle thing.
I know.
You're seeing Lauri Markkanen's color highlighted in blue because he was involved in a trade with the Chicago Bulls. Yep. My Chicago Bulls. We finally got rid of Jimmy Butler. Yep. he didn't want to be here. I did mention somewhere in Basketball Life sometime this week that him and D Wade just created this toxic environment with the Bulls and with Fred Hoiberg just constantly emasculating him on a daily basis. And
the mayor, come on.
Yeah, no, man, they belittle him all. And Jimmy was getting very Hollywood. He made friends with Mark Wahlberg, and now he thought he was hot shit. And this is what I honestly think that fiasco saved Rajon Rondo's life. Not life, sorry, his basketball career. Because at that point with the Bulls, it seemed like that was his last hurrah. And now look at him, he's still playing, and he even got a championship with the Lakers last year. So the Chicago Bulls receive Minnesota's first round pick, Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn for Jimmy Butler, and the number 16 pick overall. I'd say the Bulls won that trade easily, especially what would end up happening in Minnesota with Cat and Andrew Wiggins and Thibodeau. So 7-footer, 230 out of Arizona, freshman.
I'm
sorry, what was that?
No, sorry, I'm talking to.
Oh, okay. As you can see, a mixed bag among the mock drafts. They don't know what to make of him. Is he the 6th best player? Is he the 13th best player? The next Dirk, Mavs, would be difficult for them to pass up as a Nowitzki is set to retire. Yeah, that's the 2017 world we're living in. Nowitzki's on his last horses. He's a near star. Marketing is versatile. I don't want to read the whole thing. With the Nuggets, he would be a great combination with Nikola Jokic. Great replacement for Danilo Gallinari. With he lacks rim protection, not a physical presence. And it's still to this day, right, Jacob? We all question Lauri Markkanen's toughness, don't we?
Yep, absolutely. His durability, and we all say, "What's your best? What is it? Your best ability is availability."
Eric Mangini or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. And his defense. Arizona, he showed no IQ on defense. He high fly. I mean, he is a high flyer. You know what I called him?
What?
The next KP. That's who he reminded me of. He can shoot it. Very athletic. On the defensive end, you're like, he can get you a few blocks, but can he really be that rim protecting kind of guy? No, he's a more pick and pop kind of guy. That's why you guys, if you're going to keep him, you need a point guard that can help. Lonzo Ball will be a good, I'm not going to talk about free agency, but pick and pop kind of guy that would really elevate his career to where it needs to be. And he needs to learn how to, basically not try to be a rim runner, because obviously that's not working for him in his career because the injuries are going to start to pile up. Next, Dirk, that was a little bit too high for me. Like I said, KP, Gallinari, that I actually like. Because he has that same slow ass, he's pretty slow on the floor, but he's just athletic. But that was pretty much Dirk. No.
Well, you've seen it, Jacob. Anytime you see a 7-footer from Europe, he's the next Dirk.
Dirk. Everybody.
I mean, your guy Porzingis, Tinkus Pingus was also the next Dirk.
Pingus, yep. He was supposed to be the next Dirk.
Yeah. Now we don't know where he's going. The comps, Nikola Mirotic, and Ryan Anderson. Bro, if he turns into Ryan Anderson, I'd be super happy. But
that's a Ryan Anderson can shoot. Even Nikola.
Yeah,
he was smooth, man.
Yeah, and Mirotic, we talked about it in the 2011. He made a really nice career in Europe after the fact. But Ryan Anderson, that's the baller that we got to target here, because he made a very good career for himself coming out of California and just living on a 3-point line and getting paid and just contributing. It's still, despite all the questions about his toughness and all that, 2.8 VORP, it's pretty decent, better than Jonathan Isaac. But Isaac's been hurt, so what's Markkanen's excuse? Oh, Markkanen's also hurt, right? Leon thinks that he could be the next Troy Murphy. I mean, I'm telling you, if he turns into Troy Murphy or Ryan Anderson, I'd be a happy Bulls fan.
You got to take that. Troy Murphy was pretty solid for the Warriors for a while, so I like that.
Ricky Velasquez joining us. I just saw him at the White Sox game last Tuesday. He says Tony Kukoc was first before Dirk. Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Dirk was better, though. I'm just saying, Dirk made Tony look like a freaking preschooler the way he played. Tony was good though in his own right.
Tony, the whipping boy Kukoc.
Tony was nice though.
No, he was too nice. Everybody just piled on him. When something went wrong with the Bulls, they just blamed it on Tony. So Tony, no, it was Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan, Scotty, Tony. Tony. It feels good. Baby. Okay, C is the grade that the Bulls got for this one. Okay.
All right.
Given the wealth of star power left in this draft, selecting a specialist at number 7 doesn't make an inordinate amount of sense. I think they might have gotten this one correct, though, just knowing what we know now about Laurie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love the kid, but man, is he so soft. And
Soft.
yeah, and now he's a restricted free agent, and the Bulls have a very tough decision to make. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I want to see him
go.
back.
Let him go. You got Patrick Williams.
Let him go.
Let him the hell go.
That's right, Elsa. That's right. Number 8. This is what you guys couldn't see. This is what you couldn't. Frankie Clamps.
Oh, Frankie Smokes, Fresh Prince. How many fucking nicknames I've seen for this guy? But go ahead. Let's.
This guy has more nicknames than potential at this point. How do you say his last name? Is it Frank
Ntilikina?
La Femme Nikita? What?
La Femme Nikita. Wow, damn. Throw it back.
He is French, right? He comes from the France.
Yep, that's France.
Ntilikina. Well, he was mocked. I mean, we mock him now, but he was mocked to be in the top 10. So he must have done something right. I mean,
Phil Jackson's an asshole.
Oh, Jesus. It goes back to Phil Jackson.
See, you forgot who our president was at the time, making these damn decisions.
That's right. And we talked about Phil Jackson with the Bulls, Tony, and now with the Knicks, Frankie. Come on.
Oh man, can I take this one over?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I take it over? Okay.
I cede the floor to you, man. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate this one. Defensively versatile. We know he had it. Defense translates. His defense translates. He can lock you down. He showed it before, locking down Kemba, playing in the FIBA or whatever the hell they played. It locked him down. With a jumper, bullshit. Jumper in practice, absolutely. Can be a long-term shooting guard. No, you got to be able to actually shoot and do other things. 3-and-D kind of guy. I guess that's what Phil was seeing. It would have been nice. I kind of got hyped for him because of the pick and roll, because he was a great passer. Yeah. Pick and roll with KP, that would have been nice to see for a decade. I wanted Donovan Mitchell. Yes, no bullshit, no cap. I wanted Donovan Mitchell because I know exactly who he was.
Yeah.
But we got Frank Ntilikina, so I had to it basically went Mitchell, Smith, and Frank was my third if both of them weren't there. But Frank, I think his time is up now. There's so many, he's not getting a shot. Yes, he improved with his 3-point shot, but Derrick Rose came in and took his spot. Then you had Alex Burks closing the games. I mean, just what else do you need to see that he's not it?
I mean, the fact that he couldn't even beat out Elfrid Payton, I mean.
Thank you. And you hear me trash Elfrid Payton any little chance I get.
It's very concerning. I mean, let me ask you this, Jacob, and I think we could take turns doing the readouts for this. I just realized that we should just be taking turns if you want. We'll see how it goes. I'm so used to just asking the questions and reading out my notes here with you and Leon. Just asking you questions, but here we go. Let me ask you something.
Make it natural. It's
natural, yeah, organic, orgasmic.
There you go. Daniel Bryan.
Baby. Okay, so Frank, he's listed as a point guard here. And the notes here mention that he could be a shooting guard long term. What do you make of him? Can he still be a point guard, or is he better off just turning into a shooting guard at this point?
Absolutely, he can be a point guard. I mean, if you're a good passer, but his biggest problem is when he comes down the floor, it's like a deer in headlights. He doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah,
that was his biggest problem. He has to go to like a San Antonio where he can be taught. Yeah,
so much for that high IQ.
Yeah, I mean, they said that, but I'm like, you saw it was inconsistent. I mean, one night, oh my God, you said that pass by Frank. Man, he might be getting in the next game. He like 3 or 4 turnovers, and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing on the floor. So, like I said, you put him in like a San Antonio kind of spot. It would have been nice though. Tony Parker, get his ass on the phone. Tony, what can I do? Make myself better. And it's weird with a lot of these players that they don't reach out to the guys that can probably help them the most, because Tony Parker had to go through that. Yeah. He's not known coming to San Antonio. Just young kid, like, what the hell? How can I improve my game? Like I said, he had spurts of where he looked good, but then it was more than not. It was more bad than good. So,
what was it? Frank La Femme Nikita, whatever his name is. Kind of reminds me of Killian Hayes a little bit in terms of the stature. They're both from France. I'm not sure if the high IQ, I remember we talked about it last year, that Killian Hayes that come in with some intangibles in that regard. But here's the comp because this is before Killian Hayes, right? Dante Exum, which I was a big fan. So this is why I don't like watching highlights, because I fall in love with those highlights and then I fall in love with that player. I'm still holding on for Dante Exum, damn it.
Man, what is he, like 27 now, maybe?
I don't remember, but I remember
he's getting up there. Well, I could be wrong, but yeah, I thought he was going to be decent.
well,
I used to try to make him really good in 2K, and I used to just run to the rim and dunk all the time. Didn't matter. But yeah,
Frankie,
he's a better shoot. Yeah, he's a better shooter now. But Frankie, yeah, no.
negative 2.6 on the VORP. That's Josh Jackson bad. But here's the grade. B plus. The Frenchman is certainly a raw product. His handles aren't remarkably tight, and he struggles to create his own look from the perimeter. That to me does not scream a point guard. Okay, that's a red flag. I'm not even bothering looking at this guy if that's the scouting report you're giving me. Like it's always goes back to a couple of things. A 7-footer who can't rebound, Brook Lopez, get away from me. I don't want that in my life. I'm wrong now. But that's because he developed a 3-point shot and became a modern NBA player. But yeah, you give me a 7-footer who can't protect the paint or protect the rim or rebound. I don't want you. You give me a sloppy point guard with no handles and can create his own shot. I don't want you either. So he's the 4th worst player in class per VORP. So yeah, as mentioned, only so many players, not all 60 players actually made it to the NBA. And he's a restricted free agent. Are you wanting the Knicks to sign him?
You better take those smallest contract. I don't know what you want. Maybe I would take him back off the bench because you can be a defensive stalwart. You come in, lock this guy down, make yourself useful. But
yeah,
other than that, they can. And plus, it was Phil's pick, so I can't see him lasting.
Tony. I guess Ricky Velasquez, I just figured out that he's waving goodbye. I thought he was waving goodbye to the show, but no, he's waving goodbye to Laurie Markin, and I just figured out. Oops. So,
bye, Laurie.
Bye, Laurie. All right. Dennis Smith, speaking of which, what was what the Knicks fans always said? If you wanted Dennis Smith, I think it was Michael Rappaport. If you wanted Dennis Smith, you could have just drafted him, you jerk.
Exactly.
But Dennis Smith made it to the Mavericks, 6'2", 195 point guard. Yeah, he's small, but dude is explosive. Explosion. West Coast. Modern NBA point guard. We mentioned explosive, great vision, can score. If he would have gone with the Magic, they can't feel like they should stick with Elfrid Payton. It always dots, man, everywhere.
And you know who was the GM for that team? The GM of the Knicks, Scott Perry.
Oh, that explains so much.
He loves Elfrid Payton was his pick. Elfrid Payton was his guy.
There you go. Thank you for a little tidbit, man.
No problem.
Interesting. See, when I was doing some of this stuff, I got into a rabbit hole of coaches and of players and NBA scenarios that happened at that time. That's what took me so long to do the spreadsheet because I found out that Tom Thibodeau and Ron Adams go way back. I thought it was just with the Knicks, but apparently there was a Jeff Van Gundy connection too in Houston. So anyway, I'm getting off track like I did.
That's fine.
This weekend.
Thibodeau has a tree.
Let's see. He's a bit small, too inconsistent. Was a top 5 prospect, but NC State did not make the tourney. That's the Ben Simmons syndrome, the Markelle Fultz syndrome. Dennis Smith got a little bit of that. They described him as being the next Baron Davis and Steve Francis, and boy, oh boy, do I not like that at all, even for that time. What do you think about those comps?
Steve Francis, I saw because Steve Francis was very explosive. He kind of did remind him. He definitely overpowering. Yeah, Steve Francis. The comp is there, but obviously franchise was a great player, and just Dennis Smith. Also, he just fell out of favor, and AKA next, who came the next year, and he definitely Luka came in, was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Nah, you're getting the hell out of here, and then the KP trade came about. But Dennis Smith, he did have a strong run at first. He made highlights, hitting shots, and then
the dunking,
the dunking, then just inconsistent play killed him. And as this was right on the money.
This is why you always try to draft best player available, even if you already have a player in that position. Imagine the Dallas Mavericks saying, "Yeah, we shouldn't draft Luka because we already have Dennis Smith."
Oof, man, that trade, man. Yeah. Trey, but they would have either had Trae Young. Yeah, I think Luka would have been a better fit than Trae Young, to be honest.
Plus the whole thing with the Mavericks being like visionaries for being one of the few teams that actually have a European player lead them. With Dirk Nowitzki, and now you could do. I guess they were trying to do the same thing with Tingus Pingus over there, but then Luka got drafted, and
they drafted who?
I'm sorry. You know what? And my timeline's off. I don't remember the trade happened after they drafted Luka, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was actually.
Because
Yeah,
Dennis
it
Smith
was
had to
after
go,
that.
right?
He had to go. Yeah, and I remember being at work, and then I think Leon. Somebody told me, "Oh, the Knicks traded KP." I said, "What?" I thought everybody was just trolling me. I was just like in another zone. I'm like, no, they didn't. I look on the next trade for Dennis Smith. What the fuck? That same day, I was like, you could have fucking drafted the guy. What the hell is? What was the point of this? What kind of? Oh man, just Phil Jackson. He pissed me off the whole time, man. The whole time he was president, it was just I was pissed off to the highest level of pissivity. R.I.P. Robin Harris.
Well, you were pissed off, but Bleacher Report loved this pick for the Mavericks. A+. Can you imagine a world where Dennis Smith gets you an A+ for your draft status? Here's the quote. Head coach Rick Carlisle is a master of maximizing the potential of the men on his roster. Yeah, wait a couple of years and see what happens. And he'll be jumping.
Too.
Yeah, right. And he'll be jumping with joy. One of the best picks of the 2017 NBA draft. The best picks. And here's the results. He has competed in not one but 2 slam dunk contests, and obviously we mentioned it. He was involved in the trade to the Knicks for Kristaps Porzingis. Now he's a restricted free agent. Do you want him back on the Knicks, there, Jacob?
Fuck no, man.
Okay, let me ask you a better question. Question. If you had to choose one, you had to pick one. Would you want Frankie Clamps or Dennis Smith on the Knicks next year? Just pick one.
Frankie Clamps, easy.
Defense, right?
Defense, and Dennis Smith Jr. can't shoot for shit. Only his name for fame is he jumped over J. Cole. The only reason he got him there because he's a North Carolina, representative. So,
interesting.
Yeah, good to know. Frankie Clamps, easy.
All right. Well, as you can see here, Zach Collins' name is highlighted in purple. There was a trade involved. So let's see if I can make sense of this. Portland receives the rights to Sacramento's 2017 first-round pick that came by way of the Pelicans, by the way. Mm-hmm. For the rights to Portland's 2017 first-round pick, which is the number 15 and the number 20. So yeah, one of the things I hated about doing the research on this is trying to figure out what picks went where and who and how. The Kings, as you can see, is highlighted in the Blazers colors because this is my way of saying, yeah, the Kings drafted the Zach Collins, but this is a Blazers pick basically. Mm-hmm. And look at this. How did Sacramento get the top 10 pick? Well, they traded Buddy Hield, Tyreek Evans, Langston Galloway, and a 2017 second-round pick for DeMarcus Cousins and Omri Caspi, who is that right? Did we mention Omri Caspi last week that he retired?
Yes, I believe we did. Yes, we did. It ties into it.
There you go. You guys think that we're just doing this show willy-nilly? No, man. This is basketball serendipity. They want us to do this show. Zach Collins, center out of Gonzaga. What do you make of Zach Collins at this time?
I like Zach Collins coming out of school, man. I thought he was going to be, honestly, a 2010 kind of guy. He was tough on the rebounds. His jumper was pretty nice before, big guy, mid-range was there. It was just, he was pretty athletic too. I mean, he had some highlights in Gonzaga, and he was efficient at school too. So I thought it would carry over in injuries, and my man just, that was it. Injuries in the name. It just sucked for him.
I love watching him play, man. Every time I see a Portland game, he just stands out, man. He's the big guy who can move very well, runs like a gazelle, is able to protect the rim, and looks can be deceiving, right? Because when we see a white boy doing that, it's like, what's he gonna do? And then
I know, right?
And then boom, he's not a
Brent
star.
Barry. Brent Barry, man.
That's a good example right there, or Rick Barry at that point.
Rick Barry, exactly. I mean, can't run away from the DNA, man.
Yeah, and Rick Barry's now coaching the Big 3 tournament with Ice Cube's promotion.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I actually tagged you. I mentioned that in the thread. A full circle, right? Yeah,
I really didn't. How the hell I missed that? But that's pretty cool. I like that.
Imagine this: Rick Barry on one end of the coaching one team, and then Nancy Lieberman Schmidt. Well, I don't know if she goes by. They just mentioned her as Nancy Lieberman, so I probably should just call her Nancy Lieberman. I don't know if there was a divorce involved, but Nancy Lieberman is coaching the other team, and that was pretty cool to see. Zach Collins, not a star, but a solid two-way big man, which is all you can really ask for in today's NBA from your 7-footers. The comp was Brad Daugherty. Did he die, or am I thinking of somebody else?
No. He does the college game day for basketball.
And NASCAR? Does he still do NASCAR?
I think he probably does. He's country as hell. He does it.
So Hot Rod Williams was the one who died, probably, right?
I think so. I always got them mixed up because they both had the little fro. Not the fro. They had the high top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Larry Nance too, because they play for the Cavaliers, and there was a third forward for that Cavs team from the '90s. Not Tyrone Hill, although you better call on Tyrone, but I don't remember.
Was it Carson? I forgot which one it was. It'll come up probably.
Yeah, probably someone can tell us. That'd be appreciated. As you can see, negative WAR player, as you were alluding to. Yeah, the injuries are just taking a toll, and inconsistent playing time. But they got a B+ for drafting. The Blazers did, Zach Collins. And here's the quote: "The Blazers just need to be patient. Yeah, be patient. Let him grow organically, just like the show, right, Jacob? And
exactly.
he should reward the faith in a big way. But he's only played on 154 games, which is right in the middle of things. So 60 picks. He's 30th in games played so far. For comparison's sake, Jason Tatum has played in 289 games so far in his career. Injuries. He missed a past season. He broke his foot or his knee. I forgot what it was. And all he did was walk to his mailbox.
Yeah, that was the one. I don't know what was worse. Walking to your mailbox and sneezing and cracking a rib. Man.
Tripping over your dog.
Tripping over your dog.
Jake Plummer and Brian Robinson did that.
There you go. Okay, now I think I got it.
Okay.
He was a good shooter. Talk about Danny Ferry?
No, it was like it's like a clone. It's like Brad Daugherty, Hot Rod Williamson, some clone of their.
Some clone.
Yeah. And Danny Ferry, yeah. I mean, I do remember him being with the Cavs. And but anyway, let me ask you a question. Zach Collins, if you're the Blazers, do you re-sign him knowing that he's a restricted? Do you match any offer?
He opted out. No, he opted out, so he's a free. No, he didn't. I think he had a player option or something like that. Really? So he is actually. He has not been extended the qualifying offer.
Really?
So he's going to become a free agent. Yeah, they just said. Nah.
Oh wow. Okay. Someone lied to me when I did this spreadsheet. Okay, sorry about that, folks. But yeah, I saw that he was a restricted free agent this past weekend. No, he's listed as restricted free agent.
Right, they extended a qualifying offer to him. He never took it. He will become a free agent.
But can the Blazers match?
No. Since they tried to pay him basically like a qualifying. You say no, that's why you go out there and you get a pick, just like baseball, but you don't get a pick in basketball. But yeah, no, I don't think they want him back though because of his injury history. I don't. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they definitely extended that QO, though they didn't. So they said, "Fuck out of here."
All right. Well, there you go. Anybody can get my Zach Collins. I would take a flyer on him.
I can see where I see him going for some reason.
The Bulls.
Well, in the hell no, you got enough forwards. But yeah, if you're gonna take another one, the Pacers. He just seems like the guy that just would thrive on the Pacers, even though they got Sabonis.
And Miles Turner. Wait, he is still on the team, right? Miles Turner.
Yeah, they didn't trade him yet. Boston didn't pull that trigger.
I see.
They were supposed to.
Let's go to Malik Monk. I did not know. I see his name all the time in fantasy circles, but I did not know that he was drafted in the 2017 NBA draft. I didn't even know that he went to Kentucky because, Kentucky, like you mentioned, has so many players that once in a while you kind of forget about certain players who went to Kentucky. Yet another freshman. So let me double check something. Is that all top 11 freshmen?
I think it was the first time, except for
and the international player and Frank Clamps.
Well, Frank would have been a freshman. When you think about it, if he went to college.
True that. So Monk, top 10 pick. He went number 11. So you would think the Hornets had themselves a steal. Could have gone with the Knicks. This would have, to quote the note here, this would have helped Phil Jackson implement the triangle. Okay.
Yeah, I hate. That's what I started hating. That the triangle here, triangle there, triangle everywhere. Man, shut the hell up with your damn triangle.
Isosceles triangles, the hypotenuse of a triangle. It's like, what is this, trigonometry or basketball? Come on.
Oh, it was terrible.
He's a natural scorer, athletic and dynamic, not very efficient. He's a streaky shooter. The Kings would have made this a good pick for them with De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield and Monk backcourt trio of sorts. Lou Williams and Eric Gordon. How do you like those comps there?
Malik, Eric Gordon more because Lou Williams can shoot, but he's more of a mid-range kind of guy. Eric Gordon I like because he is a three-point shooter, and Malik Monk was a good three-point shooter coming out of school, which he's improved since then. But yeah, Eric Gordon I like a lot better than Lou Will.
Yeah, well, Malik Monk's a negative player, but Bleacher Report gave him a B+, and here's why. And when he explodes, which he will, it'll be more than worth the short-term suffering. If you're a Hornets fan, you're always suffering. Okay, now you tell me if I'm wrong here, but I saw out of SpotRank.com that Malik Monk is a restricted free agent coming into this offseason. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, good. He hasn't gotten enough playing time, has averaged double-digit points in the last 2 seasons, however, so there is some hope there. But but with the Hornets, they have a lot of good young players as it is, and now they got LaMelo as well. So it's a tough sell there.
He lasted longer than Kemba. And he got his 3-point shot up to 40% last year. So
yeah, that's right. Hey, Kemba, 2011 alumni.
There you go.
So full circle, always. I like this. I like where this is heading. What else are we doing? Luke Kennard. So we're about an hour into the show. So we're about to finish the lottery right now of the 2017 NBA draft. Let's see if we can double time this. There's not a lot of players to cover as a second round. We got a lot of we mentioned a lot about the 2011 NBA draft there, Jacob, that it's so weak and there's not a lot of depth. But you're gonna see in this draft, a lot of these players didn't pan out, and there's not a lot of second round picks that did not make it to the NBA. So we're going to see that really quick. But first, let's go back to Duke. Luke Kennard with the Pistons, shooting guard, sophomore. That's the first sophomore selected in this draft. The mocks had him going number 11 to the Hornets, to stay in North Carolina. But it was the Pistons who took advantage. But why did the Hornets need him? Well, first and foremost, the Hornets could use a 3-point shooter. And Dwight Howard needs shooters. And this is before Dwight Howard. I think he ended up going to the Atlanta Hawks.
Yep.
But this is June, so he's not there yet. He will provide depth along with Nicholas Batum and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Jesus, imagine. He's a good all-around scorer, good ball handler, moves well without the ball, lacks defense, strength, explosiveness. White boy needs more athleticism. Nick Stauskas and Jeff Hornacek.
He disrespected Jeff Hornacek. Much as I like Luke Kennard at school, he was a scorer. Mr. Ohio, obviously he can score the ball. That's what he did. But Nick Stauskas, man, he was supposed to be really good. So that's kind of fair coming out of school. Nick Stauskas, excuse me. Yeah, that was solid.
Out of Michigan, right? Michigan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, Luke has carved out. He actually got it. It was playing time with him because the Pistons did not play him that much. I don't know why, but as soon as he got the playing time, he produced.
Breaking news for you, Jacob. The Dodgers acquire Max Scherzer.
What?
Yep.
Oh, well, at least we don't got to worry about him anymore.
According
in the division. For who?
This is some guy named Jason Love on Twitter. Wait, I don't know who Jason Love is. He's not verified. So maybe
Thank God.
Wait a minute. What
else? This is not fun. Let me go. I'll get the Athletic so I can tell you in a second.
Okay, yeah. Tell me who this, if this is true or not. But anyway, while we move on, it looks like the Nationals got themselves a pretty decent haul too. If this is true, but I'm not seeing it anywhere.
Me either.
From anybody with as a reputable source. But so jumping the gun there. Well, now I'm really curious. Is this? I
know, right?
Is it Rosenthal? Rosenthal's usually a good guy about that stuff.
Usually.
I don't know why I'm getting.
What is all effing up? Where we at now? But yeah, he turned that into the bag by getting 3-year, $41 million extension from the Clips after he, was acquired by them, and he's gonna have a few. He'll average 12, and if he gets playing time, he can average 12 and do a few things on the floor, hit three. He's a good 3-point shooter. So the Clippers need him, and he's at a better position.
But knee issues. I think you mentioned that was the big bad thing. As far as the grade, though, A-. They really like this pick. If the Pistons can keep trying to surround Andre Drummond with floor spacing threats, they'll need players capable of taking and making threes. Well, Drummond's no longer with the Pistons, and they've moved on, and they're going with a full-blooded youth movement. So that's the Pistons. Luke Kennard I'm sorry, did you say he's still with the Pistons, or did he get signed by somebody else?
No, he got traded to the Clippers, I believe, or he signed with them. I think he might have got traded. I'll check that out in a second, though.
Alrighty.
I'll check it out right now. Let's see.
Where were we? Yes. Number 13. Unlucky number 13. But we alluded to this guy already, and what can you say, man? Donovan Mitchell has turned into one of the better franchise players in all of basketball, basically saving the Utah Jazz from their own existence because it's Utah, right? So 6'2" out of Louisville, another sophomore, back-to-back sophomores. He was supposed to go number 12 to the Pistons. Who knows how better the Pistons would have been with with Donovan Mitchell. But he has a big wingspan, tenacious competitor, has great playmaking skills, great athleticism. I mean, just what else can we say about him that hasn't been said about everybody else already? Norman Powell is the comparison, however. Is that a big disrespect, or does that sound right to you?
Yeah, then Norman Powell, no, I don't like it. I'll say more. Donovan Mitchell was, I'll say, a prime Baron Davis. Quicker Baron Davis. I think he's more explosive. But B. Diddy was actually like he can get up there.
Because I know the other comparison that they like to use is using D Wade, and it just goes well because D Wade is a part owner of the Jazz now. I always thought that D Wade was a little bit bigger and taller. I don't know. Am I seeing this wrong?
Was D Wade like 6'3", 6'4"?
I thought he was 6'4", maybe even 6'5". And
something like that.
Mitchell's listed as 6'2", but with a big ass wingspan.
Yeah, he can get the fuck up there. He's athletic. He's hyper athletic.
Yeah, you're right. Luke Kennard did get traded along with their Justin Patton, who's also an alum of this 2017 class. Got traded to the Clippers, or was involved in a 3-way deal with the.
Yeah, Landry Shamet went to that's the one that sent him to Brooklyn. Shamet.
Okay. So that happened. So I think the Pistons, the Clippers, did well in that trade in getting Luke Kennard. We'll see if it actually amounts to anything. Well, we'll see, because now the Clippers are in big trouble. But you and Leon can talk about that on another show. Donovan Mitchell, I think this is the number 2 highest VORP. No, sorry, Bam Adebayo is on the list here.
Yep.
So maybe number 3, the third highest VORP, value over replacement in this class. So, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of good things to talk about with Donovan Mitchell. It's hard to figure out where exactly to start. But we'll start with his grade, as Bleacher Report did not like this. C+. This is a boomer bust pick for Utah. I mean, come on. If you're Utah, those are the only picks you should be making, right?
That too.
You can, I guess Utah, they usually play conservatively and play it safe. But eventually, you got to reach for it and reach for that. Yeah.
They did.
As well as a slight reach. You see that it's a slight reach because they use like 17 eyes and slight. Here's hoping they don't ask him to run the point. Well,
that was truth right there. That's why they got Conley. That's right. They got that point on, but everything else, hell no, they were wrong.
I put down that he's improved every single season of his career. He's assigned to a 5-year, $163 million contract extension. He got paid, and the Jazz, unless he becomes Aaron Rodgers, should be happy with what they got. We move on to Bam Adebayo. So little known fact about me, right, Jacob? Donovan Mitchell, Bam Adebayo, they're on my fantasy basketball team for next year. If I so choose to go. And Markelle Fultz. Basically, I had the wherewithal to pick all the good players in the 2017 NBA draft, right?
There you go, man.
Who else is on my team?
He said, who else is on my team? I think I had Josh Jackson.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I thought I had maybe Lonzo Ball, but maybe that was a different season. I don't remember. Okay, Bam Adebayo, 6'10", out of Kentucky. I did not know that he went to Kentucky.
Yep, another one.
Freshman. But look at this, Jacob. He was supposed to go really late in the draft.
Yeah, because he was so raw, man. He shot up towards the beginning of the draft. It was like a week before. He just boom. I mean, he just
the old dirty bastard syndrome.
There you go.
He likes it raw.
Shimmy,
y'all, shimmy. Okay, he can defend. Hey, listen, man. Bam can defend guards, apparently.
Yes.
I know he's a good rim and paint protector, that much. Very athletic, obviously, we know this. Well, check out this quote. If he goes to the Bucks, well, you got to realize that Thon Maker is the future in Milwaukee. But Bam can give the Bucks some extra power around the basket. Thon Maker.
Yeah, he was
a franchise player.
I thought he would be it, man. Him and Giannis was going to run stuff. He would have fell into his body, and Nope. Now you got his brother or whatever coming up, whoever the hell he is.
Who Home? Is that his name? His brother's name is Home Maker.
Something. There's something.
Home Maker. Did you say the 2011 NBA draft, the one that we just covered last week? Look at the comps, man. Markieff Morris and Tristan Thompson.
That's crazy.
Does it work for you though?
Tristan Thompson, yeah, because he was good on the defensive end. He's a good rebounder too.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Markieff Morris, no. Size-wise, no. But Bam Adebayo, everybody knew about his – because the stock was up and down at Kentucky, so you just didn't know what you were going to get. But obviously it started shooting up towards the draft. And defensive mobility, he was thought to only be like just a rotational guy. He proved a lot of people wrong. He actually got a shot in Miami. And this dude has turned into a franchise cornerstone, man.
I think
awesome to see.
I think he's superseded Morris and Thompson as far as comps go.
Easily.
He's the second best player according to VORP. So Jason Tatum, Adebayo, Mitchell. What do I care? I got two of those guys on my fantasy team. So it's all
What do I care?
It's a C grade though. So that's another. So the Bleacher Report did not like the Mitchell and Adebayo picks, and here's why they hate about the Bam pick here for the Heats, the Miami Heats.
All right, Larry.
Yeah, that's why I did it. I should probably tag him just to show him some love. Makes you wonder if there are more moves on the way because this is a strange fit. Now I gotta figure out who was on that team back in 2017 to make you. Was it Hassan Whiteside? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think Whiteside was on there.
Okay, well, people were already wondering about Hassan Whiteside, making him look all suspicious if his production was actually sustainable for the long term and if it was actually real. But at any rate, he's overachieved to become one of the best players in the draft. And he's now signed to a big-ass deal, 5 years, $163 million extension. So that's a win for the Heat. The Heats, sorry. Let's move on to Justin Jackson, right?
Oh, God. Next.
Now here's where I messed up. So I forgot that this is not the Blazers pick, but this is the Kings pick. Right? Because it was both the 15th and 20th pick. So let's go ahead and paint that in pretty colors right there. Now I know. Go ahead.
Horrible. This one it gets like, whoa.
Well, Justin Jackson out of North Carolina, a junior. He got picked right where he was supposed to pick at number 15. If he goes to the Bulls, though, that would be a very typical pick for Chicago. Proven college player, versatile, safe pick. Denzel Valentine, Joakim Noah, is the John Paxson, and Gar Forman. I always say this to people, man, they know how to draft. They just, like you mentioned all the time, they don't know how to keep them. But not just that, but they draft very limited upside players. And Justin Jackson would have fit that mold. Long, lanky, high IQ. So I got another Paxson type of pick right there. He loves their smart players. They're upperclassmen in the mid first round. They did win a NCAA title at UNC because of him. He's quick on defense, yada, yada, yada. Rod Higgins is the comp.
They reached.
Yeah, I think so. The Kings. And he's a negative player. So he's very close to being replaceable. A minus though. Bleacher Report love this pick. He's readier to contribute immediately than your average prospect. He technically won a championship with the Bucks this past year, right? Technically?
Yeah, if he was on the squad, I guess. Or even, a little bit.
Well, he hasn't gotten the playing time, but for good reason. He's just very limited as to what he can do on the court. And he's an unrestricted free agent in this upcoming offseason. Where do you see Justin Jackson playing next year?
Yeah, he's gonna play. He's gonna play. I can see him going to a team like the Blazers or something like that. They always can use more shooting around Dame. They got to try to figure out any kind of way to keep that guy in Portland. I know, obviously, just what the hell is he going to do? But you got to get somebody that can shoot, get to the rim, do something. Justin Jackson, hey, maybe he turns it up for that team. But yeah, I can see like the Blazers, him staying on the West, maybe going to Phoenix as they try to keep some players and not keep players, get more players around to support, Book and CP3 and Ayton and all of them.
Maybe the Bulls. Maybe they get another
Denzel
Valentine.
Oh Lord. I love Denzel Valentine. We played against the Knicks. He couldn't hit the rim for shit.
No, he sucks. Denzel.
He's supposed to be so good.
I hated that draft pick. That was the one time where I'm like, this is the one time where I can't defend Garpax.
Come on, Michigan State, man. Michigan State
sucks so bad. And first of all, you already had Derrick Rose on the team, and you're gonna get another guy with bad knees on your team. Come on, man. Anyway, Justin, speaking of the Bull, well, this is not the Bulls pick. This is the Timberwolves pick, as I highlighted this in blue to let me know that anybody in blue is connected. So Laurie is in blue, and Justin Patton is in blue. And we just mentioned Justin Patton. He got traded in that Luke Kennard deal. So what went wrong or what went right? Let's see. Did he pan out? I don't know. 6'11" center out of Creighton, freshman. That's a reach because he was supposed to go late in this draft, and the Timberwolves fell in love with him. Has defense, athleticism, handles in the shot, and a typical Creighton player, but with a much taller build. And Brendan Haywood, I don't know if I like that pick.
Nah, Brendan Haywood was actually productive.
Ooh,
this guy didn't even. All he did was he was like a G. See, when you're a G League journeyman, that you just go overseas now. Like that's it.
Well, you'll see that a lot of these first round picks did not go overseas though.
Nah, they stayed.
Yeah, and when we were talking about the 2011 draft, there was a lot of players that went overseas almost immediately. But at any rate, they got the T-Wolves got a B. As you can see, Vorp is just 0. He's not good. He's not bad. He's just meh. But maybe you feel now here. You'll love this one, Jacob. Look at this quote. So Butcher Report gives this pick a B, as in boy. Maybe you feel John Collins was better.
Was. That's it. That's all you need to say. Come on now.
And John Collins was still on the board, but it's hard to discredit Patton, who has so much upside left on tap, bro.
What the fuck?
I'll put it this way. If John Collins would have been picked by the Timberwolves, I think Thibodeau would have stayed, and the Knicks wouldn't have him as a coach right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because John Collins coming out like, dude, you saw 2010, everything about him. Only thing we'll get into it, but the only thing was really the kicker was his attitude. That was the biggest thing and why he dropped. Yeah, let's save that for the 19th pick. I'm curious because I did not see any attitudinal problems in these scouting reports and mock drafts. But really quick, Justin Patton has played on 4 different teams already. It's been 4 years since draft night, by the way. So that's a team a year for his young career. At this rate, if he plays for 10 years, he'll be playing for 10 NBA teams. Has only played a total of 22 NBA games. He's currently in camp in Omaha. He's an unrestricted free agent. So he's teamless right now. He's trying to run a basketball camp in Omaha, promoting it like, I know how to get you to the next level. Like, bro, do you know how to get to the next level? I don't know. Hey, I'm sorry. Even Kwame Brown had a better career, man.
Ooh, boy. Yeah, Kwame Brown lasted a while. I mean, he'll tell you. He'll tell you
trying to get him on the show.
Ooh, man, I don't know if I'm strong-minded to handle all of his smoke. Yeah,
I want that
smoke. DJ Wilson, number 17, going to the Buck, 6'10", 235 out of Michigan. Go Blue, junior. If I did have a college team, if I did come close to having a college team, even basketball or football, it probably would have been Michigan. But that was ages ago, man.
I can see you as a Michigan guy.
Yeah, me and Vince Mercadetti would be lovers and shit.
Oh God, just learn your timeouts, all right? Learn how many you have.
You had to go there. Gun smoke. Learn your timeouts and hide your financials next time, huh?
Shit.
Did Chris Webber get elected to the Hall of Fame ever?
Yeah, I think he's going in this year.
Oh, okay. And what jersey are you wearing? I see Team USA, but I don't.
Yeah,
recognize...
Carmelo.
Oh, okay, that explains it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He was 15.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. DJ Wilson, second rounder or as high as a 15th rounder. There's a lot of variety into where he would land. But he's listed as a late bloomer, potential stretch 4, good shooter, versatile, has been rising in the mocks a lot in the few leading up to this draft. Jared Jeffries, when in doubt, just compared players to Jared Jeffries when you're that tall and can shoot. Negative player, B+. Here's a quote. If you spent any time watching March Madness this year, you couldn't help but take notice of DJ Wilson. Did you take notice of DJ Wilson there, Jacob?
Yeah, the dude was pretty much, he had a lot of potential. Defensive versatility. He can defend multiple positions. Size and skill to be a stretch 4. And it was nice, but the thing about it, they needed to get rid of him. They get PJ Tucker. So he had flashes. Like the dude he can get down low, he can score back to the bat. He can pretty much put it back to the basket and knew what he was doing. But like I said, you needed a vet to make that run, and he was just a casualty of that trade. But I like DJ Wilson coming out of school. I really did.
All right. Well, he was a part of that trade that helped the Bucks acquire PJ Tucker. He's a restricted free agent. At least that's how it's listed on Spot Rack. Restricted free agent. Does he get a second chance at an NBA career here, Jacob?
Oh yeah. He's okay. Too talented not to.
All right. I'll take your word for it. I honestly have not noticed. By the way, we're halfway through. At this rate, we'll finish sometime around midnight. No, we'll speed things up, especially now we're talking about some of these scrubs here. So really, after what was it? Bam Adebayo? No, after who the hell was picked? Oh, okay. After Justin, no, even Justin Jackson was a scrub. So after Bam Adebayo at 14, 1, 2, 3, and now 4 awful players, relatively speaking, of this draft. TJ Leaf going to the Pacers out of UCLA. And then Leaf was really full of himself. He can score on 3 levels. He's basically a point guard and a big body. I think that was a paraphrasing. You're praying. What's going on there, Jacob?
No, it was so weird because it was basically him and Lonzo. Like you thought Lonzo basically would carry this dude to an NBA career because he passed the TJ, hit shots, and the conference champions again, and blah blah blah. Of course, he can shoot. We've seen. Hey, listen. And not to be that guy.
You're that guy.
A tall, lanky white guy that can shoot. They wanted him to be the next Larry Bird, the next great white hope. TJ Leaf wasn't it, all right? Yeah. I mean, he flamed out real quick.
Well,
0 to 100.
The comp was Nick Collison. I'm thinking to myself, man, if he ever turned into Nick Collison, he should thank his lucky stars. But he's barely a positive player at 1/10 of VORP. But Bleacher Report, and you'll see, man, some of these publications, I often wonder, not to be racial or racist, but they sure do love their white boys.
Of course. I'd rather have you grading this shit. I'm dead serious right now.
Well, I don't remember being impressed with a TJ Leaf back in 2017 pick. So, but they got an A-. The Pacers did. Leafs game doesn't involve too much defense. Well, that should have been an omen now, shouldn't have been. He's averaged the 5th least amount of minutes in this class. So that should tell you all you need to know about TJ Leaf. He was supposed to go to Portland. He would be drafted by Indiana. Eventually, he signed a 2-way contract with Portland. So Portland, there's a lot of these picks going to Portland. For some reason, a lot of these picks were, especially the forwards, were selected to Portland. And then you're going to see Portland getting these guys anyway, eventually. So it's pretty funny. But here's our guy. Finally, a good player after John Collins. Boy, oh boy. Wake Forest. So yeah, Tim Duncan, maybe? Huh?
I don't think he's as fundamentally sound. He's a lot more athletic. He can shoot from the outside. I mean, this is a great pick, great rebounder. He was tough, like I said. And they actually had another skilled power forward that was aging, from one of the last players out of that nice little run that the Hawks had in Paul Millsap.
Yeah.
So, he pretty much, I think he learned from him. But his thing, when I say about maturity, it was back in high school when he had his little issues and people looking at him, you're like, will he get over that? He still has his moments where obviously he talks shit. He's young. So, I like it. But when he gets on that floor, it's all business. And you add him with Trey, Bogdanovic, freaking Capella. I mean, that team is just ready to do great things. But I loved his pick from day one.
Yeah, I did too. I did so too. I knew I was going to take some time, but man, anytime people mention John Collins, I can't help but smile. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, he has a very bland name, John Collins.
John Collins.
He plays for I wouldn't say it's a joke of a franchise because things are turning around really quick, but it's kind of for a while they were after that, like you mentioned, that Paul Millsap and Kyle Korver years, Al Horford. Joe Johnson. It kind of was a franchise that was going nowhere. And then, but John Collins turned that around, being a very productive or a decently productive player. I don't like these comps though. Chris Wilcox and Damian Jones, those are players you don't want to be compared to. It's safe to say that he's a little bit better than both of those guys at this point, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Not even close.
Yeah. Okay. There it is. 5.8. So where does that rank him? 5.8 is top five and among this class. So he's he's making a name. He's holding on his own in terms of this class.
Mhm.
Bleacher Report actually loved this pick. Gave the Hawks an A. At number
Absolutely.
19, he's a downright theft for an Atlanta Hawks team looking for
Mhm.
upside.
They got it.
They got it right on the dot. Oh, here's the attitude. Okay, I forgot that he was suspended for PED. But what do I say about PED using getting suspended? The only crime is getting caught.
Exactly.
Cheaters always win. If you're married, just cheat on your wife because you would be a winner. I cheat on my wife all the time. No, I don't. He's a restricted free agent in this upcoming offseason. This is a gimme. The Hawks have to sign him, right?
They better.
Yeah.
They better. They let him go and be like, listen. But
the Connect?
Nah, they ain't gonna get him.
Oh.
But you gotta stop playing around for Roz throw the chancleta at you over there.
Ooh, I didn't know you spoke Spanish there.
Bow, somewhat.
You're speaking that Caribbean Spanish, I see. Okay, you must be from New York. You know what's okay? Maybe I was gonna say something really nasty, but I'm not gonna say it. Something to do with Harry. Oh, okay. I can clean it up. You know what's worse than my hairy back? My Harry Giles.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Another Duke player.
Yeah, it says Blazers, but this is a Kings pick. 6'10", You're right, Duke player. Boy, oh boy, when I was reading about his story, this was pretty tragic. Let me take a sip of water. Go ahead and read what you see there on the notes, or if you have your own notes, share them.
Oh yeah, I got into high end particular pick, arguably the best player in the recruiting shot, which he was. I believe he got hurt, and he would have been like top 5 easily. And obviously, I could see the KG in him, 6'10", 230. Well, I think he was a little bit bigger than KG, but it's definitely a high risk, high reward. But you know, for Duke, I want to say he tore his ACL in school.
I think so too. Yeah,
he effed up his knee badly. So, but Sacramento, they swung for the fences and they got left with snot in their hand because he left too.
Well, like, nope. Well, shoot. I mean, they struck out twice in this first round. If it wasn't for Darren Fox, I mean, they would look like egg on their face right now. Bobby Portis is the comp. Yeah, Chris Webber's the other comp that they were making when he was in high school. Because he was supposed to be the number 1 recruit and possibly a top 5 pick if there was no one and done deal. But the knee injury was already there from the very beginning. So then, who knows? But Bobby Portis, because of the knee injuries, he's now relegated to Bobby Portis standards. So
hey, right now you got to go Bobby Portis standards champion right now.
True that. Harry, yeah, Harry, my Harry back and my Harry crack, they would take Bobby Portis comparison at this moment. Bleacher Report gave this pick a B for the Kings. The quote is, "This is undoubtedly risky. Giles' career could be a giant false start if he never gets healthy." Oh, no shit. He wouldn't make his debut until the 2018-2019 season, so he skipped his rookie year because of the knee injuries. That would be a long-term thing for him that first year. The Blazers selected Giles on behalf of the Kings. He ends up signing with the Blazers eventually. And now he's on a restricted free agent. I don't know, man. You got to give him another chance, right? With that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he showed in the bubble. We had a few double-doubles. He showed a little bit of what he can do. So I can see him signing on with a big, needing a young big, maybe the Cavs, maybe to back up Jared Allen as we about to hit him soon. Something like that. Just get him on a young team that he can grow with and possibly get some time. It'll be nice to see.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I always, every time I see Harry Giles, I get excited. In fantasy, I mean, not in real life. I'm like, oh, I have a Harry Giles. No, but I'm joking. In fantasy basketball, I see Harry Giles. Like, ooh, should I pick him up before anybody else does and be a trendsetter? And then common sense takes over, and I chicken out. And it's usually the best move to make. Or not to make. Terrence Ferguson, I remember reading about this guy going to the Thunder, 6'7" shooting guard. He played in Australia, was it?
Something like that.
I don't remember. International player, even though he's American, but he went overseas first. He got picked right where the mocks had him going. Here's the thing about Ferguson: he can either win a slam dunk contest or a 3-point contest. That's how raw and athletic this guy is.
Yeah,
freak of nature. The prettiest shooting stroke of the class.
I don't know about that.
Who's your pretty stroke?
Tatum. No homo. Pause. Okay.
My pretty stroke is my left hand. Length. There are no laws when you're drinking the White Claw, Jacob, and the 5% alcohol by content is kicking in right now. At least he can be a good 3-and-D player, Ferguson. If anything, if it doesn't develop into that big upside that he has. Here's the comps: Terrence Ross, James White. Terrence Ross makes a little sense.
Yeah, Terrence Ross. Okay.
Negative player, so he's replaceable at this point of his career. Beyonce would be at his doorstep right now. Even Bleacher Report was not too high on this pick for the Thunder, B-. And here's a quote: "But if he does pan out, the OKC Thunder will have found a tremendous shooter to pair with Russell Westbrook." Wrong. No.
wrong.
Not a good 3-point shooter. He's only 33% in his career right now, which in today's NBA, they expect you to do somewhere around 40.
At least.
Yeah. Was traded to Philly in a Danny Green trade, was eventually traded to your Knicks in a 3-way trade and waived 3 days later. He is an unrestricted free agent. Same thing with him, right? You got to give him a chance if you're an NBA team. Like,
yeah, you could, or you can just go down to the G League and hopefully you catch on someone.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Well, I mean, unlike he has a little bit of Gerald Green on him, the way they describe him. So
I like that.
I would be hard pressed to skip him. At number 22, Jared Allen. I wish Leon was here.
Leon was on this one.
Is he? I forgot to keep a track of the comments, but
no, he's talking about I think Justin Patton. He said those who can't do teach, which is very true. Sometimes the worst players make the best teachers because they can tell you what to do, what not to do.
Yeah,
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah,
Jared Allen.
The Brad Stevenses of the world, right?
There you go.
Melvin chiming in. All this MJ talk earlier has me saying fuck the world and fuck the Pistons, apparently. Well, somewhat salty.
Listen, hey, y'all finally, got over that hump. So
there you go.
Had him walking off all mad.
So how do we get here? Brooklyn receives the Washington's 2017 first-round pick. Andrew Nicholson and Marcus Thornton for Bojan Bogdanovic and Chris McCullough. I don't know what the hell they're smoking in Brooklyn at that point. I mean, Jared Allen's nice, but Jared Allen's not even on the team anymore. So what is that? Got nothing.
Hey, they got him. Hey, the Harden trade got him Harden.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, did I write that down? We'll find out. Allen was the fastest and best jumper out of the 6'10" prospects, I should say. 7'5" wingspan, second largest hands of the draft combine. I don't know who number 1 was. But if he could beat Tyson Chandler, that's a win for the Nets and anybody else who would end up getting him. Not a good shooter, especially from the free throw line. I'm not sure if that's the case at the moment or not. But he's a gym rat. That's what I love reading. I love reading guys who are described as gym rats. I want those guys on my team. Kevin Durant was also described as a gym rat, and that's why I loved him in 2007 when he was drafted there. Has offensive potential. Lorenzen Wright is the comp. 5.8 VORP, which is right there with John Collins. So we got 2 good big men late in this draft, making up for all the disaster that was in the in the lottery and the top 15 picks. B+, here's what the quote is. The Brooklyn Nets needed a replacement for Brook Lopez after trading him to the Lakers for a package center around D'Angelo Russell. As sure enough, he would, like you mentioned, got traded in the James Harden deal. He's a restricted free agent. What do you like or don't like about Jared Allen here?
I mean, the fro, as they call him in Brooklyn, he improved every year. That's what you want to see, especially from a big guy. Elite rim protector. I think he even got a highlight dunking on LeBron. So that's what you do. But yeah, he's definitely played himself into a big payday with the Cavs. Let's see what they do there. But they have a point guard. I don't know whether it's going to be which one of Sexland's going to go. Will it be Colin Sexton or will it be Darius Garland? But either way, you'll have your 5 sitting there with Jared Allen. But yeah, he's solid, man. He's definitely a good player and good pick out of Nets, man. They did a good job.
Leon says that the Raptors want Allen, and boy, oh boy, that would be pretty cool to see him up north. Yeah. Although, I mean, that's like changing the guard thing. But speaking of the Raptors, thank you, Leon, for the segue. Boom! OG Anunoby going to the Raptors.
Great
Now,
pick.
how do we get here? This was this was this was the Clippers first round pick before, and they got that from the Bucks. And Toronto receives this pick along with Norman Powell for the great Gravis Vasquez out of Maryland.
Oh my God, that guy.
Not just that, but the Bucks. And how did the Bucks get this deal? Well, they got it from the Clippers when they traded Jared Dudley for Carlos Delfino.
Oh man!
In a 2016 round pick, which would end up becoming Marcus Page. What a mess! I hate
UNC Marcus Page, but Carlos Delfino, Bucks legend.
Wow, yeah. Anunoby was a sophomore out of Indiana. If it wasn't for the knee injury, he'd be a top 10 pick. Do you agree with that sentiment there, Jacob?
Oh yeah, he was really good. He shoot, defensive wizard, just really tough. It's my notes on him.
The next
long-term health.
Yeah. If healthy, speaking of which, Draymond Green, do you agree with that?
Actually, I can rock with that. I don't like really agreeing with these, but that at his highest peak, he could be a better shooting Draymond Green. I like that.
7'2" wingspan. I misspell wings. A lot of misspellings here. I was really off my game, man. Speaking of which, Leon's informing us that Gravis Vasquez is a 2K legend.
Yeah, man, he was ridiculous. I hate him.
I like this one though. Kevin. At first, when I saw Kevin Looney, I'm like, "What are you doing? That guy's a center, but he's a 6'7" center, kind of like a Montrezl Harrell kind of deal."
Yep.
So Anunoby was drafted for his defense here as well, and he can guard multiple positions. That says here, especially with his long ass arms. He has a 3.1 VORT, which puts him top 10 in this draft class. He got an A. The Raptors did for this pick. The Raptors may have landed the steal of the draft. Like everybody's a steal of the draft at this point.
I know, right?
Jesus Christ. He's improved every season. The Raptors won a title with him, although I don't think he did much of playing at that point, but he gets a ring. So
I think he has some big shots.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know he's a good player.
Yeah, I mean the Raptors thing. So signed a 4 year, $72 million. So with all that being said, Anunoby and Jared Allen combination, how you like them apples?
Hey, that would be nice, especially with Fred Drake Van Vliet. But it will work. It will, keep them respectable, and we'll see.
Well, first of all, it's German, so it's Fred Van Vliet. I found out that the V's are F's. Yeah. So, Frank Vogel. Vogel means bird in German. His name would be Frank Vogel.
Oh shit!
That's how you say it. Oh shit is right. Volkswagen, right? It's actually Volkswagen.
Volkswagen.
No. Volkswagen. Volkswagen. It's the car of the people. At number 24, Tyler Lydon. He was involved in a trade. What trade was that? I forget. Oh, it's everywhere. Okay, so I had to get the arrow. Here we go. Oh, this is the Donovan Mitchell trade. So Utah receives a rise to Denver's 2017 first round pick. So the Nuggets were like, we don't want any of these players. We want to backdrop a little bit. We want the number 24th pick. And we want Trey Lyles too.
Oof.
All of this for Donovan Mitchell.
Man, I say it was worth it. But imagine though, a Mitchell Murray backcourt.
Yeah,
that would be really fun.
Jokic, we would be talking. Yeah, we'd be talking about the Nuggets being the number 1 seed and not the.
Oh my God!
Not the Jazz.
That would be ridiculously fun to watch.
But what happened to Tyler Lydon?
He's trash.
No, well, hold on now. 6'9" Syracuse.
Yeah.
Have you been watching a lot of? So there's still basketball going on, right, Jacob? There's the what was it? We just mentioned the Big Three. The Big 3 with Ice Cube, with the older players, which is a lot. I love watching. I know some people think it's sad to see the old players try to play. I like watching. That's the reason why we're doing this. We want to know, where are they now? The Big 3 is the ultimate where are they now activity for NBA junkies. But the other tournament that's going on, and they're playing right now as we're speaking, is the big tournament. It's the TBT tournament. I forgot the basketball tournament. And Lydon is playing for Boeheim's Army, the Syracuse alumni.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Because people loved him. They thought he was going to be like the next freaking big thing. Tyler Hansborough that could shoot, whatever the hell you want to call him. He was
That's
so
right.
because I live upstate, so
Yeah.
obviously I'm around a whole bunch of Syracuse, and this guy was supposed to be it.
You're wearing Syracuse.
No, the hell I ain't.
Yeah, that's Melo, man. You're wearing
Yeah,
Melo's jersey.
anyway, it ain't Syracuse. Never. But yeah, Tyler. But yeah, Tyler Lydon is supposed to be really, really good, and he screamed freaking bench piece. I just saw it. He didn't really offer anything. Yeah, he had some moments. Syracuse getting to the tournament. He had some great scoring games, and of course, your stock builds up. You in Syracuse, New York. Obviously, it's gonna be there. People are gonna notice you, and I didn't see it. And plus, which made no sense because at that time, you had Lyles, and then it's pretty much the same. I just made no sense. Same position. So, okay.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see here that he's being compared to Nikola Mirotic, but at this point, he'd be lucky if he has the European career of Nikola Mirotic. Also, I noticed that he is also promoting a basketball camp this offseason, but he is playing in the TBT tournament. Have you caught any of that TBT tournament?
No, actually, I never get a chance to watch it.
It's pretty interesting. It's another Where Are They Now kind of deal as well. It's pretty cool to see some of the names that are somewhat recognizable at this point. And you're kind of wondering if they're going to make it back into the league, or if they're going to go back to Europe, or if they're going to go back to their non-basketball lives. So that's pretty interesting. But unfortunately for Lydon, he did finish with a negative, and I say finish because he hasn't played in a while. His last season was in 2018-2019. But Bleacher Report, I'm convinced they love their white boys. B+ for Tyler Lydon in the pick here for the Nuggets. Lydon isn't quite strong enough to survive the NBA yet, but he should get there. But he's only played in 26 career games.
Yeah, he was strong.
Well, Bayheim's Army is playing tonight, and they're a favorite to win the tournament, so we'll see. Do you think they go crazy up in upstate New York if the Syracuse alumni team wins the big tournament here?
I wouldn't be surprised. Nothing else up here.
Speaking of nothing,
they can claim Breanna Stewart though.
Oh, all right. Well, it's a nice fallback option. Speaking of nothing happens around here, Philadelphia receives the rights to Orlando's 2017 first-round pick, number 25, in exchange for a 2020 first-round pick via Oklahoma City and a 2020 second-round pick. So Philly really, after getting Fultz, really just wanted a throwaway pick. They didn't give a shit.
Yeah, this was a stash.
Yeah, trust the process, right? Well, and of course, the Magic. Oh, wait a minute. I just saw Serge Ibaka. I just saw Serge. Okay. How did the Magic get this pick originally? Well, they received Toronto's 2017 first-round pick and Terrence Ross. We just mentioned him, right? Terrence Ferguson, Terrence Ross. And the Raptors got Serge Ibaka, which ended up being a good pick for them because Ibaka was on that championship team.
Yes, he was.
So Anzej Pasekniks out of Latvia. Yay, don't you love Latvia players?
No, I'm good.
You're good.
I think I had enough.
Kristaps?
No? Yeah, he pissed me off enough.
Okay, well, this guy's a real giant, but obviously a stash pick for the Phillies. I'm sorry, the 76ers, sorry. Oh, surprise, surprise. He needs his body to fill out. He did play with Kristaps Porzingis, actually. Has some range, but he needs to be tougher and stronger.
That sounds familiar.
Wow. You were really not letting that one go on.
Nah, well, it's true. Do you not see that guy play? Dude, he showed. I follow him on Instagram. This dude shows every moment he's in the damn gym bulking up. Oh, I'm doing this, and they still
wait. Porzingis or Porzingis?
Porzingis.
Porzingis has. I'm kind of worried about him. He's basically disappeared from social media. His Twitter is non-existent, and his actually non-existent in the sake that he doesn't keep up with it. And his Instagram is the last pictures of him and his mom being together, but that was about 80 weeks ago. Yeah, I snooped around.
Damn, wow.
Yeah, man, I do my research. Ante Tomic, though, I honestly don't remember this guy.
I don't remember him at all.
Well, that's his comp.
I know Ante Zizic or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Well, Pasekniks in limited time has become a negative player, and Bleacher Report hates this pick. C+. Don't expect to see Pasekniks in the NBA anytime soon. In 2019, the 76ers renounced their draft rights to Pasekniks. So that just shows to you how much they really cared about this pick after they got the Markelle Fultz selection. Has only played in 28 NBA career games, signed with the Wizards, but was waived in January of 2021. And like I mentioned, it has never been heard of ever since. He did like, you talked about it. I think he did like Porzingis working out. So you mentioned that. Let's move on to number 26, Caleb Swanigan. And I believe, is this the... okay. This should be the Blazers pick, even though it says Blazers. This should be the Blazers pick. Portland receives Cleveland's 2017 first-round pick for Cleveland's 2018 first-round pick that was previously acquired. Yeah, I'm getting a headache just trying to figure out what the hell's up with these draft picks. Like I said, this is probably the thing I hated the most about doing the research for this was where the hell do these picks come from? Why did this team get this pick? Anyway, I'm out of breath. Can you read what you see there, buddy?
Absolutely. A really hard worker, passionate rebounder, intangibles, lacks athleticism, weight concerns, which is actually going to play into that in a little bit.
Oh, 6'9", 250. Okay.
Yeah, this made no sense because you just got Zach Collins early in the draft. So they pulled the Bulls and pulled the Knicks and started just trying to rack up power forwards.
Well, Collins has a little bit more upside. The work ethic, as you can see, 6'9", 250. The weight issue was real for Caleb Swanigan out of Purdue. But everybody, the common theme was, he's a hard worker, hard work ethic. The comp is Ike Diagu, which I'm not quite sure how I feel about that because I feel like Diagu might be a little bit more athletic.
Yeah, he was okay. Well, I see Wentwall before he came. Well, Swanigan was decent. Like he had a decent body coming into the league, and Diagu had the same thing. So I kind of get it, but.
Well, Swanigan's a negative player after in his NBA career, short NBA career. The pick was not well received, as you mentioned. Why you get Zach Collins and then Caleb Swanigan with the second first-round pick that you get? It's a B- for Bleacher Report. Swanigan will be a beast on the boards and a physical low-post player, and that's the nicest thing I could find for Caleb Swanigan. Picked by Portland, traded to the Kings, only to be traded back to Portland in January of 2020. What I say? There's a boomerang effect going on in Portland with these big men. It's like the third or fourth player that we mentioned that went back to Portland eventually. He was involved in the January 2020 trade that involved Trevor Ariza. Oh, that's right. Okay, so that's how he got back to Portland, was in the Trevor Ariza deal. Did not play in the bubble for personal reasons, and now he's a free agent. What if the Knicks signed Caleb Swanigan? Would you be happy?
No, not at all.
What, the second reincarnation of Michael Sweetney? You're not a fan of that?
No, I'm good. Thanks, though. You know about Michael Sweetney.
Unfortunately. We talked about the Lakers getting busy late in this draft. And here it is, Jacob. Kyle Kuzma.
It's my guy.
Number 27 pick overall. I really like this pick.
Me too.
And we mentioned that this draft pick is littered with failed Brooklyn Nets trades. Here's another one. Boston has the option to swap picks with Brooklyn in 2017 or 2018 with the first round. 2016, the first round pick with Jaylen Brown. I hate reading this. I'm getting a headache.
No, I just love this.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure Leon, our buddy Leon, loves it too. But this is one of the picks that were made in order to get Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, Jason Terry, all those veterans.
I thought the Melo pick, and I will say this, and Knick fans over me, I did not want Melo the way he came, but I thought that was bad because one of our picks turned into Jamal Murray, and then Aldridge, but this might have taken the cake. Freaking Jaylen Brown and Lillard, like, God damn, people, like, what is shit? No comment.
Well, go ahead and read Kyle Kuzma's vitals as you see them on screen, and go ahead and read his mock draft notes.
Stretch four with the highest ceiling, versatile athlete, open eyes at the combine, can shoot, rebound, and pass, which he's really good coming out of Utah. I liked him. I was hoping we moved up some way to get him, but, it didn't happen. But I really like Kyle Kuzma. The dude, he has his ways, his tendencies that people might not like, but you put him in a better situation than the Lakers, I think he would honestly really break out to where he needs to be.
Every time I see him, I feel like he's a small forward, but he's 6'9" and he's listed as a power forward. Kid. Yeah, man. I don't know why he looks so small. I don't know if it's because he's playing next to guys like Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, and then now LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Maybe that's why he looks kind of small to me, or just the versatile athleticism that he has displayed. And this high skill set that he can potentially have. But again, when in doubt, when it's a skinny power forward that can shoot, just use Jared Jeffries as the comp. Or
I don't know where that comes from, because Jared Jeffries could never fucking shoot. I want to know where in Indiana did he shoot in any kind of way.
Leon, already alluding to what I'm mentioning. What I'm trying to allude here is that LeBron James doesn't like dealing with young players unless they're really super athletic and good, like Kyrie Irving. Although Irving wasn't athletic, but he was full of skill and point guard know-how. And that's what made him so good. And the skill level, oh my God, the skill level. But Kyle Kuzma is still a work in progress. And LeBron James, as you know, he has a biological clock ticking.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Ellenson is the other comp here. 1.5 VORP, which all things considered, that's not too bad. That makes him the 16th best player in this draft, according to VORP. C- for Kyle Kuzma and the Lakers. Kyle Kuzma out of Utah, which per most draft boards is a significant reach. Did you think he was a significant reach back in 2017, Kyle Kuzma?
No. I think he was late first round, but he was skilled enough to go at least top 15. He was better than, some of these guys actually went in the top 20.
Yeah.
And no, this was a steal at that point.
Yeah. And as mentioned, Leon says LeBron broke him. I think once Anthony Davis was acquired, there was like no use for Kyle Kuzma. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure is he a free agent or not. I didn't write that down.
I think they've been looking to trade him actually.
Yeah, that's true. Moving on, Tony Bradley. So this is not a Lakers pick. This is a Utah Jazz pick. This is part of the what's this deal? This is Utah receives the rights to the Lakers 2017 first round pick number 28 for Tony, and they use that to get Tony Bradley. Utah gives away the number 30th pick, which they use for Josh Hart, and they also get the 42nd pick. The Lakers do. So the Lakers got very busy late in the draft. And then, do we want to know how the Lakers got this one? Yes, they received it from Houston along with Corey Brewer for Lou Williams. So we just mentioned Lou Williams earlier today.
Lou Will.
Tony Bradley, 6'10", 250 out of North Carolina. A lot of North Carolina players, huh? I did mention that 3 of them were drafted here. Freshman, one and done, 7'4" wingspan, does not shy away from contact, needs better offensive game, will have to go to the G League. Clifford Rozier, I think I had his rookie card back in 95, was it?
Jesus.
Wow. Do you remember Cliff Rozier?
Nah, not at all.
You're a card collector? You don't have a card of Clifford Rozier?
Hell no. That's the kind of shit you put in a bike spook.
So yeah, 95 draft. That was the Jason Kidd draft, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry, 94.
94 is, yeah, because that was Grant Hill. Yeah, 94 because it was Grant Hill, Jason Kidd.
Yeah, that was the first time in my life that I bought an entire rookie set. I never done it before.
Dope. That's awesome.
Yeah, and only three players were worth mentioning in that draft. So
pretty much.
Well, Eddie Jones, Brian Grant.
Eddie Jones, yeah, Eddie Jones.
Brian Grant.
Dumas. Anthony Dumas.
Dumbass. No, it's Tony Dumas. Tony Dumbass. The grade. First of all, Bradley is surprisingly a positive player according to VORP. That's the upset of the century. So that makes him the 18th best player. You talk about 2011 being a weak draft. But here's a grade. It's a B, a solid B. He's not a great interior presence on the offensive end. He doesn't pass the ball well. He's a good rim protector. I honestly haven't seen a lot. Yeah, he's only averaging 12.6 minutes per game out of Utah. What do you see out of Tony Bradley?
He's a freaking okay shot blocker. That was about it. He's one person that just he's going to be that guy that just gets moved around as a throw-in, and you hope to get some kind of production out of him. And if you need size, you'll have him on your squad. That's pretty much Tony Bradley in a nutshell.
Well, he's been thrown in a few times. He's already on his third team, has only played 65 NBA games. What's up?
I think he left school too early.
Wow.
I really think he was one of the players that left school way too early. If he stayed, another year or so, he would have been a lot better than what he is right now.
Well, he was also involved in a 3-team trade that was that also involved fellow first-round pick Terrence Ferguson, who we just talked about. He's now a restricted free agent. I don't know. You don't seem to be too optimistic about Tony Bradley and his free agent prospects. No, okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, the NBA is always looking for shot blockers, so he would
That's
be a
true.
good one.
The next one I like.
Derek White, not a white boy. As God, we sound like a bunch of racist minorities here.
But that dude's forehead and that fucking hairdo, he needs to cut that shit. Oh my God, I can't stand it. I don't know what I'm telling you. When you see it, look up a picture of Derek White when you get a chance, and you just look at his hairdo.
I'm looking. I don't remember it being so controversial, but you obviously have an issue. What? It's just
that shit is it's terrible.
It's just a fro, man.
That shit ain't no fro. That's a fucking throwaway. You know,
a throwaway fro.
I mean, just get that shit out of it. Look at the receding of the head.
Oh hell no! I see what you're saying.
God, it was quick too. He goes from that to God, and those teeth, man. I'm sorry. Yeah,
those teeth.
God damn.
Oh my God. You're describing him like he's Popeye Jones. He's not that ugly, man.
Ugly as fuck.
What about if it's short like this? Do you like it short like that?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it looks decent.
Yeah, right.
Looking like a little brother Malcolm.
What about with the Brillo pad on top? Do you like that?
Christ. Terrible.
Felipe,
he's a good player.
Felipe, you're racist, making fun of black people hair like that.
How dare you?
How dare you, sir?
I'm offended now. But
what?
I like them.
You don't even have hair.
See, I make it look good though.
That's true. Yeah. Some people can do it, and some people can't. That's true.
That is true. But yeah, definitely, he came out of Colorado. You know, good sleeper pick for the Spurs. Surprise, surprise! Like they don't do this every year. Talented scorer, good ball handler, impactful defender. He reminds me. I don't like. What did they say? What was his? Etuan Moore. No, I wrote down. He was more of a Antonio Daniels kind of me. Like he's really tough. I like Antonio Daniels rather than Etuan Moore.
Really quick, 29th pick overall for the Spurs, 6'4", 190 out of Colorado, like you mentioned, a senior, so one of the rare seniors in this first round. Division II player, impressed at the draft combine. So people, for those young players listening, you can really make or break your stock at the combine, even though it's probably the cool thing to not go and attend and just skip them. But you're seeing a lot of guys who went from second rounders like this guy, Derek White, who was supposed to, as you can see, CBS has him as a 32nd pick overall in the mock draft, going 29th, like Bleacher Report expected him to. So, and again, I don't like the Etuan Moore pick, but it seems like when in doubt, just pick Etuan Moore. There's a lot of players like that. When in doubt, a combo guard like that, just use Etuan Moore. When in doubt, a stretch four, a lanky guy, Jared Jeffries. There's another guy, too, that keeps getting mentioned. I forgot his name already. But anyway. He could be a potential playmaker, 3.6 VORP. So, that's not bad. I mean, like you mentioned, that's all that Spurs do is just get good players this late in the draft. He's the 8th best player in this draft, despite the fact that he's only averaging 24 and a half minutes according to VORP. So that's impressive. A-, surprise, surprise. The San Antonio Spurs made a smart pick at the tail end of the first round. In other news, grass is green, water is wet.
That's great.
I'm Mexican. Jacob's black. No,
there you go.
That's all Bleacher Report, man. That's
I thought you put that down. I'm gonna say they could have used that one.
No, let's see the quotes, man. Come on. I know. I cite my sources. Come on. And he was rewarded handsomely with improving every season in the league, and he signed to a 4-year, $70 million extension. And we told you that the Lakers got busy late in this draft. As you can see, it's yellow on both ends here at the 30th pick and the 42nd pick. We're almost done, gang. I promise. We lights at the end of the tunnel. A lot of players to cover. We want to do a thorough job in describing and seeing what they were back then and what they are now. Josh Hart, 6'5", 210 Villanova. I always like Josh Hart. Do you always like Josh Hart?
Absolutely. Winner. Proven winner.
Another senior. Another senior out of this class. The next Malcolm Brogdon.
I actually like that comparison because they both can shoot it. I think he's a little bit more athletic. Yeah. The IQ is there for both of these players. Winning winning schools. One went to Virginia, UVA. Other, went to Villanova, 2 winning programs, championship winning teams. Yeah. I wanted Malcolm Brogdon. That still pisses me off to this day because of where he went. And we could have snatched him, but neither here or there. But yeah, 2 players that I really like, and Josh Hart, I would actually love to have him on the squad.
Well, he's being compared to Keith Bogans, and as a Bulls fan, he's the guy who gets blamed for Derrick Rose's shortcomings as a team's accomplishment, lack of team accomplishment. Well, we would have had a better shooting guard, but we got stuck with Keith Bogans.
Keith Bogans was the guy that looked like he would just wait for you to come out of the store with something, counting your money and try to rob you. He just had that look. I'm sorry. He just.
Well, despite Josh Hart's kind of like shortcomings, he's only averaging 26 minutes a game. Doesn't do anything spectacular. He does have a 1.9 VORP, which puts him as the 14th best player in this draft. 60 players were drafted. 55 have actually seen the NBA floor. So that's, and I've always liked Josh Hart. It's again the whole thing with LeBron James being on the team and kind of suppressing a lot of their development. Although you can also argue if they were that good, they would have developed a long time ago. This is why we have a 3 or 4 year window nowadays. And in this case, it's graduation day. He got an A from Bleacher Report. Frankly, it's surprising a veteran like this shooting guard could sneak into the first round. Okay, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but he's been improving little by little since draft night. Your 2018 Summer League MVP. He would eventually get traded along with Lonzo Ball to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis. Summarize Josh Hart's career up to this point there, Jacob.
He's just a good rotational player that can step in and lead a team, whether it be starting or off the bench. And he's going to be around for a long time. That's what usually happens.
Next up on the docket, Jordan Bell. We're almost done. I promise, folks, Jordan Bell. This is part of the actually, this is the Bulls saying, yeah, we don't want this. You want this? And the Warriors are like, yeah, we'll take Jordan Bell. And I remember Bulls fans being very angry about this. Like, why would you trade away Jordan Bell? We could use a guy like him. But yeah, basically, the Bulls got my favorite player of all time, Jacob. You know who it is?
Who?
Cash considerations.
There you go. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, man. He never fails. 6'8", 225, power forward center combo out of Oregon. Junior. As you can see, USA Today thought he was a first-round talent, so did Bleacher Report.
He was.
CBS has them pretty much correct. 39th pick. He got selected 38th pick. Again, the combine was a big help to him. Quick, athletic, can defend all 5 positions. He needs to bring an offensive game, though. Energy. Bo Outlaw. I like Bo Outlaw. I always like Bo Outlaw.
That's a nice one. Oh, yeah. With the goggles, ball. Yeah, I remember him.
Who wore it better, him or Horace Grant? Bo Outlaw or Horace Grant?
Bo Outlaw was cooler. Well, I like Horace Grant. No, he always had the white goggles. It was pretty cool. It was different. He had his own thing. But actually, Horace Grant, the ties, the family. I believe he is either the uncle.
I think he's Jeremy Grant's uncle.
Jeremy Grant's uncle, yeah. There you go.
A twin brother of Harvey Grant, and there's another Grant. So the Grants are a hell of a underrated basketball family there. Unlike the Jordans.
Oh shit!
What?
Yeah, that's that shit, man. Yeah, it was running away from the DNA in that one.
That's a different story for a different time there.
Absolutely.
Jordan Bell, despite limited playing time, has not even decent shooting percentages. Leon is laughing about Keith Bogans. Thank you for being specific there on your LMAO there, Leon. Thank you so much.
Man, I'm sorry. I just had to say it.
Jordan Bell's the 17th best player in this draft at 1.1 VORP, despite only averaging 12.1 minutes. So the pickings are slim in this draft class, as you're seeing.
Yeah, but I definitely saw how. Sorry to cut you off, but I see why Bulls fans would have wanted him, because his coming out party was in that NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
and his stock rose. So everybody, Jordan Bell, Oregon, yeah, we want him. But I could see.
Well, you know how it is, man. The guy's named Jordan. Oh, come on! The last time we had a Jordan.
This is going to happen. It's going to bring us back to prominence.
Send them back to Providence, Rhode Island at this point. But Bleacher Report love this pick. A+. Warriors add yet another incredible talent to their ever-growing coffers. It kind of reminds me of how they describe the Spurs. Oh, here, Spurs doing Spurs things. Well, the Warriors are now a part of that class. It makes sense. Steve Kerr. Almost say that he's part of that Greg Popovich tree. He did play for him for a long time. Anyway, I think that's enough. I mean, he's back with Golden State, but he's been traded 3 times in his career. So much for that. I mean, what do you think is Jordan Bell's downfall in the NBA so far?
Couldn't score.
Yeah.
it never came. I mean, there's only so much you can do around the basket, but he just never got it. He was just like a power, just get it down, offensive rebound, dunk it, go the other way, but he never really developed anything.
Yeah.
Very tough, though. Tough.
Well, we'll see how the second stint with the Warriors turns out for him. Now, here's a guy I really love. Thomas Bryant. Oh, I got excited when I saw his name. I didn't realize that he was drafted by the Lakers, though. I thought he was always a Wizard. Oh, here's a trade right here. Well, this is the trade on draft night. Utah receives the rights to the Lakers. Oh, okay. This is the Tony Bradley deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Lakers got Josh Hart, and the Lakers came out like bandits in this draft. They got Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart. I'm missing a name here.
They had Thomas Bryant too.
And Thomas Bryant.
They just never used him.
Patient with him. Yeah. Kyle Kuzma. Oops. I mean, who's running the show? Is Magic Johnson? Is he running or is it the agent at this point? Pelinka.
It might as well. It might have been Magic Johnson at that point.
Oh, I don't trust Magic Johnson. No, this is too good for Magic Johnson. I mean, Magic Johnson's a great businessman. I don't know about basketball front office acumen. Savvy, thank you. But Thomas Bryant, number 42 overall, drafted by the Jazz, but part of that Lakers deal. 6'11", 250, Indiana, sophomore, was supposed to go in the second round. A steal, elite size with high ceiling, not very quick or athletic. He's a big energy guy with large wingspan. Dwayne Coswell. You remember Dwayne Coswell?
I remember the name. I just don't remember the player. Like
every time I heard Dwayne Coswell, I always thought that they were talking about the Jetsons.
Oh, shit.
But Thomas Bryant, man, I love Thomas Bryant. 2.8. That makes him the 11th best player in this draft, according to VORP. So you know who else has a 2.8 VORP? They got selected way higher than Thomas Bryant.
Who was it?
Lauri Markkanen.
Mark him up.
Mark him up. He is finished. The Finnish Flash. But Markkanen plays way more minutes than Thomas Bryant in their career so far. He's played more games. But Bryant has already averaged double digits in limited amount of playing time, has just as many rebounds, 7.1 for Markkanen in his career, 6.0 for Thomas Bryant. And that's with 9 minutes less of playing time than Markkanen. So there's a lot to like about this kid. B+. The quote from Bleacher Report, Jay Billis probably swoon at the thought of Thomas Bryant's wingspan, which is 7'6". Has played for the Wizards the last 3 seasons after signing a 3-year, $25 million contract. Has taken advantage of limited playing time. I mentioned averaging a double digits in scoring, and he's currently recovering from torn ACL. What can you say about Thomas Bryant that I haven't mentioned already?
He improved his 3-point shooting.
Oh, that'll help. I'm assuming that Leon is talking about Thomas Bryant being valuable on a fast-paced team. Sounds right. But he looks pretty damn good with the Wizards. I can tell you that much.
Absolutely. These last two I love, man.
Yeah, well, I don't. I have a Morris. Yeah, Brooks I'm pretty mad about, although I had him on my fantasy team, and he didn't do what I thought he was going to do. But you're going to see something that's going to rock your world here. But this is a draft day a trade. Memphis receives the rights to Houston's 2017 second round pick. And all they had to do was give up a future second rounder. So this is the Grizzlies. 6'6", 220. Another player from Oregon that gets mentioned in this podcast. Jordan Bell being the other guy in the second round. Junior. Grizzlies probably reach a little bit because based on the mocks, 50, 51 overall pick. He goes 45th overall. But he's the Pac-12 player of the year in a conference that had Fulton Ball. What do you think about that, Bond?
Hey, man, you got to be able to ball when you got to outdo Lonzo Ball. And also, like I said, Pac-10 was pretty tough. So you got to have some game, like I said. And Dylan Brooks, I didn't really agree with. I thought they said he couldn't really shoot. And I'm seeing if that name is who I think it is, these God damn. Lacks athleticism, which is true. I mean, his size, he's 6'6". I think 6'6" is good. And I think once you get there, your size is good. I think he's very tough.
Usually when they say size is lacking, it's basically because he's kind of lanky.
Lanky? Okay. Yeah. I'm like, come on now, 6'6". Come on. But yeah, he's very tough. He plays for Memphis, so you got to have that mentality.
Yeah.
And he could shoot. He's a good shooter.
Not a fan of the Jared Dudley comp, though.
Nah, I mean, not at all. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. But here's the problem. He's a negative 3.7 player, despite the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he's been pretty productive. That means that negative 3.7, you're looking at the worst player of this draft. Of the 60 players that were drafted, only 56 have seen NBA minutes.
Mm.
And Dillon Brooks is 56 in according to VORP, and I honestly don't know why. I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
know
know.
why.
Damn sure better than Frank Ntilikina. That shit.
It's I mean probably a defensive issue, probably because all he does is score and doesn't do much of anything else, doesn't contribute in other factors. That's my guess. But he got a B from Bleacher Report. Here's the quote from Bleacher Report: "What is Dillon Brooks? He's not a consistent jump shooter, which means he'll fit in perfectly with the rest of the Memphis Grizzlies." So they got jokes over there, just like I do. I mentioned the VORP thing, being the worst in the class. Has seen improvement in the game every season, however, especially when it comes to points per game. And he's currently signed to a 3-year, $35 million contract. You mentioned you really like Dillon Brooks. Anything else you want to chime in about Brooks before we move on to the last pick?
He's a perfect fit in between 3J and John Morant. And like I said, Memphis was just a perfect team for him to show what he can do.
And 3J being Josh Jackson Jr.
Correct, the Mundo. Okay. And another Canadian, by the way.
A lot of Canadians you'll see. A lot of Canadians.
I got to see something because I don't – his field goal percentage was at 40%. I mean, you're over 40%, you're doing something okay. I just want to see something, what it is. See if he proved them wrong. Field goal. Come on, man. Sorry, give me a second. He's shooting 34% from three. Well, he's a career 35% shooter from three, which is respectable.
So, yeah, but compared to some of these other guys,
should be better. He should be better, but I think his VORP improve over time. But I think just sometimes when it's kind of flawed because he's actually a really good player. You watched him in the playoffs.
Yeah. Dennis Smith Jr. is shooting 32% with a 40%, 32% from 3-point land and 40% from field goal percentage. So that's Dillon Brooks doing better than him. I'm trying to find like other players who. Okay, so Markelle Fultz, right? I mean, that should be a good example. So you mentioned Dillon Brooks is at 42% from field goal range, just anywhere on the floor. Markelle Fultz is at 45%. And as far as 3-point goes, I mean, we all know about Fultz's issues, right? Well,
yeah.
Brooks at 35%, Fultz at 27%. But there's a chance that Fultz can turn things around.
Oh, absolutely. He'll turn it around.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was looking to see how that compares with other players, but shooting percentages are a fickle thing to dissect here. Josh Howard for Leon saying Josh Howard for who?
Ooh, it got to be Dillon Brooks. I actually like that. I actually like that.
I mean, Josh Howard was a really good player. I don't know if Dillon Brooks is there.
Yeah. Well, he's not as good defensively, but.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But regardless, Brooks. Oh yeah, I read that already. So that he's the Grizzlies believe in him, and I call him the Grizzlies because it's fun that way. Finally, Monte Morris. So this is why they skipped on Donovan Mitchell, because they had a plan to get Monte Morris late in the draft.
Hey. Monte Morris is good though, and he had his breakout. He's another one that started. Once Murray went down and Monte got that playing time.
Yeah. He's always shown glimpses of being a very productive NBA player. 51st pick overall, then going to the Nuggets in Denver, Mile High City. 6'2", 175-pounder. Wow, that's really short. But he went to Iowa State. He's a senior, so he went through the rigors of college basketball. He got picked right where the experts, the so-called analysts, mock drafters had him going late in the second round. Short-handed, future backup point guard, which he's decent backup point guard right now. He's a good ball handler, good basketball IQ. Reminds some people of Moochie Norris, or as I like to call him, Moochie the Cat Norris, former Rockets player. You remember Moochie Norris over there?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. He went from having a fro to the damn baldy.
Oh, geez. Did he go bald? He went home?
He did. He did go bald.
Leon agrees with that Moochie. Monte Morris caps as a 6-man. In terms of upside. So yeah, that's about right. But 2.9 VORP, that puts him top 10 in this draft class. Despite the limited playing time. You know what it is, Jacob? It's the ball. He takes really good care of the ball.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you right here, but before we get to the results here of his NBA career. Let's go to that grade. A, they love this pick at Bleacher Report. Point guard is the weakest position in the Mile High City, while Emmanuel Mudiay continues to stagnate and Jamal Murray sells in as a combo guard. So yeah, this is the Emmanuel Mudiay, what do you call it, era of Denver Nuggets basketball. And Mudiay ended up with the Knicks, right?
Yes, he did. He had a nice little run.
How'd you like him with the Knicks?
He was actually, listen, he had a few games where somebody got a hold of him and like, listen, you can live up to your potential. And he did for a few games, but, you know, the inconsistency showed up again and he was done.
Where is Mudiay nowadays?
He played, last I saw, he played for the Jazz, but I don't think he plays for them right now.
Oh, that's right. You're right about that.
Because he was in the KP draft, 2015 draft, KP and all them.
Has it been that long? Golly.
6 years.
I can't wait to, another 4 years? Another 4 years we'll be doing the 10-year reunion of that draft, the 2015 draft.
Crazy.
I can't wait to get your thoughts on that one.
Anyway.
By the way, draft grades from Bleacher Report are from Adam Fromile, taken June 22nd, 2017. So thank him for doing the hard work. And I'm just kind of regurgitating what he wrote back in 2017. But here's my take on it. So he has lived up to that backup point guard potential. Oh, yeah. He has this crazy assist to turnover ratio of 5 and 1. So that means for every 5 assists, he only turns the ball over once. Mind you, he doesn't average 5 assists per game. Why? Because he doesn't get enough playing time.
Nope. You got Jamal Murray there. It's hard to get playing time.
But if he were to play a 36-minute per game on a 36-minute per game basis, he definitely
easily.
Yeah, it would extrapolate to 5 and 1. Can he actually do 5 and 1? I don't know.
That's a lot of work being that lead guard, man, and things change. So
exactly.
But I think he's in a perfect role, though.
I mean, Westbrook. I don't think Russell Westbrook gets in his wildest dream could ever get to 5 and 1 in terms of assist to turnover ratio. Jameer Nelson. As the comp, I'm assuming Leon Tompkins as the comp. Jameer Nelson.
I like that.
Nelson a little bit shorter though.
Yeah, shit, they both midgets. No, I'm kidding.
Well, that's the thing. Nelson is stockier, while
I
Morris,
was just about to say,
yeah. He has committed to play for Team Nigeria. I did not see him on the Olympic roster though, but that was a story back in March and April that Monte Morris opted to play for Team Nigeria. How bad are you that you can't even make Team Nigeria's Olympic roster? Either that or they're still trying to go through the litigation, like you saw with the women's team. 3 American players of the women's basketball team wanted to be considered Nigerian so they could play for that team, and I don't know what the results were that.
I'm not sure on that one.
The decision was supposed to be done last week, so something we could research further. But with all that being said, that is it. The 2017. It was only 4 years ago, but it seemed like an eternity ago, as a lot has changed. Players who we thought were going to be there forever are no longer on those teams. Final thoughts on the 2017 NBA draft before
it was a great draft, man. Came out of stars like Mitchell, Tatum, Fultz is getting there. I mean, just John Collins being a steal, and Lonzo Ball, Bam Adebayo. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, Luke Kennard, guys like that still making it. A lot of these guys got to the bag already, which is awesome to see. Well, it was 3 players I wanted to say. Okay. And one of Leon's guys that he's always talking about for the Pacers, Edward Sumner, Dwayne Bacon for the Magic, solid player. Frank Jackson went to Duke. He played last for Detroit now, which are solid players. So there was 3 guys that actually went late in the draft, solid players. But my final thoughts, thank you, Felipe, for hosting the show. Always fun to do. I appreciate all that work you put in doing your spreadsheets so I can just read it, making things a lot easier. And it's always appreciated. And
yeah, man. I appreciate you guys giving me this platform to do something I always wanted. Like I mentioned you and privately, something I always wanted to do ever since I broke in as a sports writer, right? Yeah, I guess. I mean, technically I was writing about sports on
hey, you're a sports writer then.
Yeah. I did get paid for my services, so that was happier times back then. 2013. Shout out to 2013. The year 2013. Not it's not actually a person named 2013. It's actually literally the year 2013, which was, man, oh man, 30-year-old Felipe. The world was in his hand to take over the world, and Jeez, 2013 is a special year for me, man. I'll tell you that much. But that's where it started. And one of the things I wanted to do was every year I wanted to take a look back at the drafts from 10 years ago and see how the drafts have progressed after 4 years. And I just mentioned to you, I would love to do a 20-year generational overview. It would have been nice to look back at the 2001 draft, but the time's running out of time.
Oh, God. Kwame Brown.
I mean, it's so pertinent right now.
Oof.
People, why wouldn't you want to do this? Look back and see how it all relates to today's game and to today's players.
Grief.
And then with a 20-year stretch like that, now you're talking about who's going to be a Hall of Famer, and it could be fun. Maybe somewhere down the line we could, Leon and I could do it in August or September as we get closer to the NBA season.
That was very, Shane Battier, Tyson Chandler, Pau
Eddie
Gasol,
Curry. Oh,
Eddie Curry, Jason Richardson, freaking Eddie Griffin. Jesus, I ain't talking about the comedian.
Yeah.
Pau Gasol, Atlanta's pick, man. That's and what ifs. You always get that what ifs.
Yeah.
But Zach Randolph.
We could see. Grit and grind.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Leon says that they were that the Nigerian women, the American women who wanted to play for the Nigerian team, were not allowed to play, and they're still appealing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Good luck to those ladies to see what they can. Jason Richardson killing in the big three, Leon says. Thank you for that. That's right. He is. Oh, that's right. I did see him that he was a potential MVP player, but I forgot who the front runner is. But anyway, you mentioned Frank Jackson and Dwayne Bacon.
Dwayne Bacon.
I was gonna be this close to mentioning them, but I decided not to, because that's a lot of players that we covered today. But Dwayne Bacon has a second worst VORP on this list. Surprisingly, I saw your face. You're surprised too, huh?
Oh, wow.
So for that reason, I decided not to put him on there because if you're gonna be negative, you don't deserve it. But Dwayne Bacon, Florida State, 19.4 minutes per game. Not a good shooter so far in his young career. Where is he playing? Is he still with the Magic?
Orlando, yeah.
Okay.
Florida native.
All right. So that's it. I'm tired. You're tired. I can see it in your eyes. But thank you guys. Leon, I wish you were here to kind of be that third wheel or that triangle offense.
All right, cut it off now.
All right, and for Jacob and on behalf of Leon, because he's in here in spirit, we're missing the missing Leon formation. I am Felipe. You're listening to the Step Back 2017 NBA Draft. We'll see you soon for the 2021 preview review live. I don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna do something big. We did all this work, and we're gonna bring it to you. So look forward to seeing everybody at the NBA Draft that's coming this week. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
You too. You.